Good morning, peoples.
Vietnam. I'm not even saying anything.
Just when you think
okay.
that it was safe to walk out of your house, the redneck is actually loose. You know there's a leash law.
At least there's not a muzzle law.
Well, there should be.
Yeah, I have my.
When you're loose, there should be a muzzle law and an earbud law or something. You know what I mean? Earplug law.
It's called a noise ordinance.
I'm just gonna start looking at Steph and go, I hear your shit. I hear your shit. I hear your shit. And put my finger in my ears and just.
Well, you was being nasty.
I was trying to give you some granola for your breakfast.
No, I didn't want your granola for my breakfast. That
doesn't sound right.
He was chasing me.
Wait a minute. I was trying to give her granola,
Right.
not cream of wheat.
Ew.
Ching.
How you doing?
Oh my God.
So yeah, I was just trying to give Steph some granola this morning, and she just refused to eat it.
I'm not eating your boogers.
Ew.
Man, that sounded a lot worse than
Granola.
yeah. Yeah, that sounded a lot worse, Steph.
Okay.
But it's the
Thanks.
truth.
Thanks for sharing.
Before
You tried to share.
Before Jacob has a
Conniption fit?
Yes. We have a new viewer or listener in Tulsa, Rachel Tollett. So shout out to her. There you go.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the dark side.
It's pretty dark. Kind of. Well, it depends. It's sunny outside or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a black room.
It's always sunny where I'm standing.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
And where she's standing is it's always moony.
And it smells funky.
I keep my clothes on now, thank you.
Now.
See, it's like I try to explain to everybody, it's all in the wording. You don't realize it until it just slips in. Right, Denise?
Oh.
Pretty much. So
Wow.
I hear David is all excited that you're getting paroled today.
pretty much. He is.
That's
Hopefully
funny.
get all clear, and he was like, "I'm taking the rest of the day off."
I don't know, is it sad or funny that your day is based on parole of the vajayjay?
Oh my God.
It's 7:44. We can get away with saying that.
Wow.
She has had some minor surgery. It was just little bitty and little bitty. You just yanked her uterus out. And yeah, apparently the vajayjay is getting paroled today. David thinks there's, I think he's been taunting.
He's excited.
I think he's been taunting it like a football game. Like, oh, meet me on the 50. I'm gonna beat your ass. I think it's kind of like, back in the day when Tyson and Evander Holyfield did the whole little thing in front of everybody at the news press, and they're looking at each other and they're putting their fist up and they're snapping the pictures and they're shit talking each other. Yeah, when I get off work this afternoon, I'm giving you a pounding. Steph has no comment.
All right, so
You know what it reminds me of? If you could take her, the image I'm painting, celebrity death matches on MTV. There's David and the uterus. It used to be David and Goliath, but now it's David and the uterus. Clay animation fighting tonight at the Warners.
Anyway, so we're gonna do the.
Wait till I get home. Yeah.
We're gonna do the duh moment of the day.
I think when David gets home, you're doing the duh moment of the day. Duh!
I'm trying to get off that subject.
So's David! Why am I the only one laughing here?
Oh my God.
Our phones are getting lit that fast.
It's Jacob.
Oh, yeah. You make it sound like, it's just Jacob.
It's just
Yeah,
Jacob.
Oh, my God. Jacob, I swear, homie, I'm so sorry that friggin' Denise is Denise.
Anyway, so okay, so 9.6% of college graduates incorrectly identified Judith Sheindlin, which is Judge Judy on the TV show, if you don't know that, as being on the Supreme Court.
You know why they just assume it? And this is just stupid fast thinking.
The way she's dressed.
No, it's because her name is just so, it's mentioned so much more. Like, name another judge.
The people.
Judge
Point
Maybell.
proven. See?
Yeah. Well,
See, that's the point. Is because she's talked about so friggin' much. If I said Obama, what is it?
president.
You know, you say Clinton.
Dirty boy.
So you get known for what you're known for. I mean, duh.
Well,
But how many people can honestly say they know anything about the Supreme Court? Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
Hey, I'm going to punch you in your uteri if you keep on. I'm trying to do like multiple things here. You should try that. You wear Velcro shoes and slip-on shoes. You have no right to talk to anybody about trying to multitask.
No, I don't.
Your
I wear
version of
shoes.
multitask is trying to figure out how to get 2 beers, 2 hands, and the barbecue pork rinds in your mouth.
no 5
They
out of the
made a
7
helmet.
days.
Like,
They made a
Oh my
helmet.
God.
have
so
you
back-
never seen the helmet? You can put 2 beers on either side of your head.
Stephanie, yes, we've
Squirrel.
seen the friggin' helmet.
Okay, so
God.
back to
We
the
need to find
article.
one.
Shut up. Come on, Denise. Please
Another-
save us. I'm
another-
leaving it for duh to save us.
Another 5.5% of college grads picked John Kerry, the former senator who's now Secretary of State, as a member of the court. Of those surveyed, the report found only 28.4% of college graduates identified James Madison as the father of the Constitution, while 59.2% thought the answer was Thomas Jefferson.
Wow.
40% of college graduates didn't know Congress has the power to declare war, and less than 50% of the college graduates surveyed were aware that presidential impeachments are tried before the U.S. Senate. So yeah, that's pretty, like, how does that make you feel?
Warm and
That these
fuzzy.
people are out in the working world right
That's
now.
right. Warm and fuzzy inside. I'm just blown.
Well, then.
Anyway,
I'm laughing because there's a lady, the whole EBT thing this morning. So I've got this lady who wants to say that, yes, drug testing should be for Section 8 and government assistance, but not food stamps. So then I find it funny, that people that are disagreeing with what I'm saying are not the drug addicts. All the like normal American people, it's a 50-50. You got people going, I agree. If you're doing dope, you shouldn't be, getting your government assistance. And then other people are saying, well, I think it's wrong. But the problem is the people that are saying I think it's wrong are not the drug addicts, not the ones cheating the system, and probably not even on EBT.
right.
That's what I find
Exactly.
funny behind the whole argument here. Everybody agree to disagree. I'm sure anybody living out in the Midwest cornfields that's poor, who's on EBT, is not snorting stuff and shooting stuff and smoking stuff. And yes, the EBT is working for them because they are using it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
The question is not the people using it correctly. Friggin' duh. The point is,
Hey,
I've stood outside of Hibbett Sports and watched a line of over 100 people who were buying the new $300 and some odd Air Jordans, and I watched them walk right into the grocery store and swipe an EBT and buy their homies some friggin' sub sandwiches that are standing in line to buy the new Air Jordans. So you're standing in about $2,000 worth of clothes. You're swiping an EBT and you're standing in line to buy the new Air Jordans,
and driving off in a
and you
Cadillac
got a blunt in
Escalade.
your hand and you think it's okay.
And driving off in a Cadillac Escalade.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I find funny behind everybody trying to be reasonable in the debate. They're not being reasonable. They're letting their emotions dictate what they type because
And-
they think they know something. But if you want to know something, get off your couch and go see it.
Right.
And
Go
there's-
see it. And
Sorry.
this one woman keeps discussing something because I made a point about the liquor store. And she's like, well, drug testing is not going to change the fact that they're using the card in the liquor store. No, that's just
No.
another part of the broken puzzle. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I'm trying to say that overall, keep your mouth shut for just a second. You keep trying to talk while I'm talking. Please give me just a second.
Because I think you finished, but okay.
Okay. Hang on there, Spaz. Golly, y'all are like a shaking 2-liter. You're just waiting. You do it every other day. Today she's awake.
No.
So the point I'm trying to make is, as this lady, and I'm not trying to be rude to her, but she doesn't follow it. She doesn't get what I'm saying. She's like, well, why does the government allow EBT in a liquor store? That's the real question. No, the real question is about the dope heads using EBT. That's the real question. And guess what? The dope heads are the ones using the EBT in the liquor store. Duh!
Why do I get brought into this?
You just happen to fit the criteria because of the duh. Okay, Stephanie, your turn, please.
No, you didn't.
And there's a big difference between pot and prescription medicine that you are prescribed, and you can show a prescription from a doctor.
Not necessarily, because some of them abuse that too.
Yes, some of them abuse that, but Alex is saying that isn't popping a pill the norm here?
Isn't drugs in general.
How about this? How about this? Let's just calm down on you trying to prove your emotional bullshit point. I think it's so funny. No, because you're trying to take it to a whole different level. We're talking period, point blank period. If you are doing illegal, do I need to spell the word out illegal?
That's my point that I was trying to make. Illegal drugs.
No crap, Stephanie. What do you think the testing's for? Is to stop the illegal drugs.
That's my point I was trying to make.
Stephanie.
Scotty.
You are trying to point out something that is already obvious. Obvious.
Read the message.
You're an idiot.
There's no difference except legality.
If you tested,
he says that now.
If you tested positive for dope, any kind of narcotic or anything, and you are legally doing it, do you not think that you would whip out your little thing that says, here's my bottle that's prescribed to me from my doctor?
Of course.
Okay, then. So what the hell do you think I'm talking about?
No, but Steph, and like when you do the drug test, you put down
you have to write down what drugs you're taking.
Exactly. So there is a difference. There is a difference between testing positive for prescription drugs and testing positive for illegal drugs.
Who are you arguing with about this? Right. Like yourself?
No.
So then why are you even having that debate?
Where'd it go?
Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, where did that come from? Why didn't you listen? I'm gonna smack her. If you were gonna deal with a conversation that you're dealing with in messaging, I think you should have opened your mouth by saying, a listener sent this, and this is in response to the listener, instead of debating drugs with me.
I wasn't trying
but that's how it come across, woman. That's my point.
Do you not understand that the one that we're talking about in the message is trying to poke at you and trying to get you all riled up?
But the point is all the listeners are probably going, Steph, where in the hell did you go about the whole legal and illegal? You, in your twisted mind, already knew who you were talking to and what you were addressing. The rest of us had no idea what you were addressing and why you were addressing it.
Okay.
The obvious is illegal drugs. That's the obvious. Because if you're on bipolar medicine, you check that off on the piece of paper. And then when you test positive for bipolar medicine, then they're going to go, oh, well, it was on your paperwork. Oh, Valium. Oh, it was on your paperwork. Oh, marijuana. Oh, that wasn't on your paperwork.
No,
unless you're in Colorado.
No.
Anybody that wants to go hang out on Salem Road, there's a little store behind the Quickie Trip, and you can go watch all the transactions of dope you want. You can stand there at the dumpster at the Quick Trip on Salem Road and watch as much dope dealing as you want. You can go to Valero at the Honey Creek and watch as much dope dealing as you want. You can go all up and down Salem Road and watch as much dope dealing as you want. But here's my suggestion for you. Get off your damn phone. Quit text messaging when you're walking from your car into whatever store you're going to. How about just pull up in your car, put it in park, stop what you're doing and look around for like 7 or 8 minutes. And within that time frame, you will go, holy shit, did he just do a dope deal right in front of me?
There used to be I'm not saying any names, but there used to be a pizza place right over there in the Honey Creek area that you could call and order a certain pizza with certain objects on it, and you got some extra oregano with your delivery.
Well,
straight out of the pizza place.
You can go. My cousin, when my grandfather died, my cousin hung out with us for a weekend, and we pulled up to Ingalls just to quickly get something. As we sat there, you know me, I don't like door dingers, so I park a little further out. I look over at my cousin. I said, "Look, there's a dope deal going down." She said, "How do you know?" I said, "Keep watching." She's like, "Well, what?" I said, "Just keep watching." So the dude walks from Valero in the black RV that's illegally parked there, by the way, and nobody will remove it. It has no legal tags on it, and it drives up and down the road. Nobody stops it. So it walks out. The guy walks out of Valero, leans down into a little Honda Accord, talks for a couple seconds, walks back to the Valero, then walks back to the car, and you see one hand go in with something in the hand, and you see one hand come out with something in the hand, and then they fist pound and walked off. And it's happening right there in front of that whole ugly mess of clothes drop off that's supposed to be for the homeless and stuff like that.
You know what I mean? It's like
it's all happening right there
every day. You'll see something.
Look, man, my old man was a cop.
You can see him
my old man was a cop, and the thing he said is all the really cool crap is happening right in front of your eyes, but you're too blind to see it.
Not too blind, you're on your phone.
Well, you want to believe it's not really happening.
Right.
You want to believe that couldn't be happening in broad daylight. Well, guess what it is? Let me tell you something. Over there at the Salem Road area, I was sitting at a business, inside the business, looking out of the window. I watched a girl pull into this parking spot with the wind. This is probably just about a month or so ago when the weather was still nice. The windows were kind of cracked. She had two kids in the car seat, back seat. White girl gets out of the car with the windows down, left the car running, two kids in it. She goes into the smoke shop, buys her blunt papers, her little rolled blunt rolls that are in a blue plastic kind of material. She then walks to get in her car. As she's getting in the car, shutting the door, another guy from the smoke shop, who apparently is the runner, ran out, slipped her the weed through the door, and I'm sitting there 8 feet away watching it. And then when she pulls off with her two kids, her blunt paper she just bought and her weed she just bought, and then the guy goes back in the store. So can you say that it's legally being sold out of the store or illegally being sold out of the store? Well, can't say that it's being sold out of the store because it's being sold outside of the store, but nobody's doing anything. And if I can see it, then anybody can see it. And that's one location.
Right.
And this one location's been like ratted out to the police dozens of times and nothing's being done. Just saying. So, Steph, please just remember, if you're having a word battle with somebody through message, I know you understand it and the person you're dealing with understands it, but the rest of us have no clue that's what you're doing.
Okay. Back at
As you're still over there going through it. So let's hear it. Give us the spiel of actually what's happening over there.
No,
the real spiel of what's happening.
No, I'm ignoring that now.
No, because it took away from of what we were doing, and it's part of what we're doing. So what is it that's going on?
I have another.
So there's another one.
Yeah, because I had posted something about drug testing for the EBT.
And y'all listen, it's a radio show. We're supposed to be pushing buttons and making people open their eyes. So just because you think one way doesn't mean it's always the correct way. Maybe there's another perspective you need to see.
Just got the cops are getting paid off. Sounds like happens everywhere.
Yeah, but we have no proof of that.
Right.
we don't know that, you know.
But when I posted it, of all the people to respond to it, it was kind of funny, ironic that my cousin responded to it and said, well, what about all of the kids that would lose their food if their parents are tested for drugs for the EBT?
Say it one more time. I was reading a comment. Say it again.
Said, what about all the kids that would lose their food?
Here's the argument I was trying to say to people this morning, and I want everybody to listen clearly. These people that's abusing the system know for a fact that weak-hearted people are going to say, we can't stop the EBT because of the kids. They know this. It's just like when me and my stepdaughter got in an argument one time and I said something about her being put on restriction and she says, it's okay. Mama's always, Mama loves me. She'll give me my phone back in a couple of days. And I looked at her, I said, did you really just say that? Okay, the point being is she was 13. How about the 30-year-olds that are like, they're not going to stop my EBT because they know I have 4 kids. That's the point, y'all. Nobody's saying that taking the EBT from these adults is going to make it better for the kids. Nobody's saying that. But if these parents were worth a shit, they'd be taking care of their kids.
And my point to that was, what about the parents that are getting these EBTs, getting the EBT and turning around and selling it for more money to get more drugs?
Oh, God, yeah.
And the kids aren't eating to begin with.
Oh, God,
so
yeah.
what's the difference with that? It's just the whole system is just
right. And this girl,
screwy.
Jessica's dead on it. Drug test or not, sadly, there's always going to be others that know how to milk the system.
Yes.
Ding. That is the whole point. Is there a correct answer behind any of this debate?
No.
Not at all.
Nope.
Is there any correct views? Not at all. Am I 100% right? Nobody's going to agree to that. Are you 100% right? Damn sure nobody's going to agree to that. You can be sitting in the middle of Washington, D.C., and you've grown up there, and your perspective on the EBT is going to be different than the guy that's living in Los Angeles. Anybody's perspective. I find it funny that I watch people from North Georgia who doesn't live anywhere near the hood, who must deal with white poor folks and hasn't seen Rockdale and Conyers to see how it's abused, just for fun.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hola.
Hey.
Yes, sir. It's a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, there you go. First-time caller for this telephone number anyway.
That's right.
Hey, little Richard.
Howdy.
We've missed
Yeah,
your voice.
I need to chime in on what's that?
We've missed your voice.
Yeah. Well, I have that unmistakable voice.
I don't miss it. That stuff haunts me in the middle of the night.
I hear you.
I mean, it's nothing like being woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and hear, you need to go pee. Roll over. They're snoring.
Ew.
Oh, Lord. Well, I could always just call up and go, it's hump day,
Oh,
or anything
God.
like that. But
Slaps me on my butt, bites my earlobe, and yells it's hump day. I'd be in trouble.
Well, no, I wanted to call and chime in on the topic of the EBT situation.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, I agree that sometimes it could hurt kids a little, but if you did it more on a person to, system to family basis, if they went in and assessed the situation, put a drug test on the parents, put a drug test on the kids. Some of the kids are in their teen years and they're probably doing drugs too. So think about it that way. And, the younger kids that are suffering from this, if they're going to continue to get EBT, they need to be in, I hate to even admit it, but they need to be in a foster home, or they need to be in a system where they're going to be in a controlled environment where they're able to get their, substance or whatever you call it, it teaches the kids that in a system like that, they have to learn to like what they have and respect what they're able to get. And maybe even get them a better set of morals if they're in a system. But rather than being under the mentorship of a parent that is on drugs, or, if that parent is scum and, half of the kids are scum as well, then, take the EBT away from them. If they can't supply for the kids, then the kids need to go to the system. So that's just how I look at it. That's just my opinion.
And Alex said something and I haven't been reading all of what Alex was just typing, but here's how I start seeing it. Back in my days of Jimmy Carter being president, I always heard stories through school. I'm talking, 3rd grade, 4th grade. I remember hearing stories about how it was so poor in Russia and they gave you like an allotted amount of toilet paper, and when they were under all their financial problems, they were giving away, you know, certain amounts of food and everything else. My fear is that our government is creating, molding, making, producing lazy, slack-ass bastards that just want to milk the system until we all become dependent on the government, and then the government goes, "Oh, you'll get no money today. You'll get toilet paper tomorrow," and then we're all at their friggin' mercy, which makes everybody feel like we're under a dictator at that point.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I also agree with that, because they are definitely turning, you know, just into the land of the entitled, you know. So I mean, there's no doubt about that. But the thing is they have to put their foot down. You know, I mean, regardless of the government or whatever, you know, in the system that it is that controls, you know, the welfare and the EBT, they need to go in and look at each individual case and determine whether or not it's worth continuing. You know,
Right.
So I'm not saying they need to eliminate it, but they need to only give it to the people that really do need it. You know, if the person is disabled from, you know, a Vietnam vet and they've got 2 kids, you know, and a wife passed away or vice versa, you know, I mean, that's a different type of situation.
Well, yeah,
You know,
if somebody's
family
disabled and they can't, if medically, if they are disabled and they can't function, legally, medically can't function. But the girl I seen drive up with her 2 kids and go in and get 3 or 4 of the little blunt rolls, and then the dope dealer walk out, hand her the dope in the window while she's got 2 kids in the back. Now, are we gonna assume that she's a bank teller at Bank of America? Are we gonna assume that? Are we gonna assume that she's being all she can be and take care of her kids?
She was dropping off her deposit.
Right. It's crazy. The problem is now that they've gotten, you know, the root of the problem, it's not going to fix itself. You know, I mean, they have to go in and, you know, somebody's got to go in and put their foot down and say, look, you know, they need to either revamp the system or go in and say, look, you know, this is just how it's going to be. You know, put a limit on the EBT. Make them show ID.
Well, well, how about it needs to be like WIC? Back in the day, WIC said, this is the cheese you get and how much you get. This is the milk you get and how much you get. This is the cereal you get and how much you get. Why in the effing world should it be okay for a woman to walk into the Kroger and buy 3 cases, the Kroger on 138, 3 cases of Alaskan snow crab? It's $10 a friggin' pound. When it's on sale, it's $10 a friggin' pound. And the woman goes in there and buys 3 cases of Alaskan snow crab. How many of us, how many of you listeners, how many of y'all go out and buy 30? I mean, you know, 3 cases of Alaskan snow crab. You know, who buys that? Who goes in there and does that? That'd be right then and there. No seafood. No seafood needs to be bought on EBT. EBT is supposed to be for your kids' health and hopefully your health, but at least for your kids' health. Your kids ain't eating snow crabs. Come on. You might give, now don't lie. Everybody goes, well, kids can eat snow crabs. Well, you're friggin' right. But how many adults are going to give their kids the snow crabs? Because most of the adults that are stupid enough to go in there and buy 3 cases are so friggin' greedy, they're eating it for themselves and then damn sure ain't giving the kids any.
You can have some PB&J.
It's sad, man. It's absolutely sad.
I hear little footsteps.
So, you know, it's just stupid how it is. I think it's just like it's just like anything. And everybody that's listening, if you don't agree with me, you don't have to. But if my wife has to worry about having just a random drug test, if little Richard has to worry about having a random drug test, if anybody out there has to worry about having a random drug test to make money, then it should be the same exact thing for EBT. And again, all the crying people that's bitching and complaining about it are not the drug heads doing it. You tree huggers, man. You're not the one cheating the system. Of course, you're thinking it's so wrong, but you're not cheating the system. Why are you defending the ones that are cheating the system?
Well, I mean, we used to get wigs back in the day when Grant was smaller. She got wigs, but it was only for, I want to say it was 9 6-packs of T-shirt. It was specific to the what she was allowed to have on
We're
the
losing
diet.
you. We're losing you.
And, you know, okay.
Sorry, it was getting rough there for
How
a
about
second.
that?
Yeah, there you go. It was getting rough for a second.
Okay. Yeah, I come back up a hill.
And with you being
but
short,
yeah,
that's low.
Grant was getting wigs. What's that?
I said, and with you being short, man, that's a really low. That's a dip.
Oh yeah. Whoa, Lord. But you know, Grant, he got wicked for a short time. Up until he was, I think, until he was 40, I think is what the cutoff was. But we got wicked for 9, I believe it was 9 6-packs of T-shirt, which covered his diet. You know, yeah, every once in a while we would have to buy more because it's hard to exactly calculate that stuff. But you know, I mean, I didn't mind buying it, but it was nice to get that little bit of those wig vouchers to be able to do it. But it was specific to what it purchased. So yeah, I completely agree that they ought to have gone back to the wig system and used that instead of EBT. So EBT to me is just way too free.
Right. Well, the whole thing is this, and then, for instance, I want to cover something because I guess Wendy's listening. She assumes I'm talking about her. I'm not addressing one person. I've got multiple messages going on. So please, Wendy, don't take it as I'm just going after you, because I'm not going after you. I got multiple messages going on at one time. My point is this. She's trying to say she lives in Houston, and it's probably worse than us. Again, in your perspective, you might believe yours is worse than, but I think everybody's might be different. I'm not trying to say everybody's is the same. And to tell me I need to research more, I guarantee me going out and doing what I do, I'm probably around it a little more than most. You know, people, you're granted your own opinion. Nobody's going to tell you you're wrong. You're granted your own opinion, and you're granted your own views. And in your climate of where you live, you might think yours is worse. I get that. So please, again, don't. I think she's taking it like everything's all about me discussing it with her. There's multiple text messages going on.
Yeah.
I mean, these two right here ain't even saying anything because their phones are getting lit up.
Yeah. Because this is a touchy subject. I mean, everybody.
It is a touchy subject.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, let's face it. Liquor stores have signs up that say EBT sold here. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
accepted here. Yeah.
Yeah, accepted here. Sorry. You know, let's think about that. The Wing Shack, EBT's accepted here. I mean, all these places accepting EBT, but why is that? I mean, EBT should be for the grocery stores for buying groceries to take home to your kids.
And the one thing, because remember, I think it was last week I did the story where it said you could go to KFC, you could go to Taco Bell, and a couple of other places and use your EBT to get food.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I couldn't understand now, at the grocery store, you can't go and get hot deli items.
Oh, that's a lie.
That's a lie.
There's a lot of grocery stores you can do that.
Well, I know Kroger. I know Kroger. You can't get anything hot. You can't even get it if it's steamed. When I worked at the Kroger,
here's the problem. You want to believe, and just like these other people want to believe, what they read is always the truth. Well, come on. We already know that the government makes it sound the way they want it to sound.
Well, I mean, this I saw firsthand because it was when.
But not every store. But how long ago was that, Stephanie?
2010.
Okay. What year are we in?
2015.
When was the last time you worked there and you saw it happen in that way?
2010.
And what year is it again?
2015.
Thank you. Case closed. My point is, you see it happening. We see it happening every day. Stop what you're doing and look around. All you got to do is stop and look around. You're seeing all these signs everywhere. Everywhere.
I mean, we used to have a customer that would come in, and those snow crabs that you're talking about, that's like $30 a case.
Yeah.
She would purchase those on her EBT and then bring them back up to the
and try to get cash
customer
back.
service.
Happens every day.
Yeah. And I caught on to it, and I said something to the manager about it. And from then on, he said, well, we'll put the money back on a Kroger card instead of giving her the cash back.
Cha-ching, that's still money.
Yes, it's still money, but it can only be used in the Kroger.
Yeah, but
it's still cheating, Steph.
I know.
It's still money. Because
I
now
know.
she has a card that has legit cash on it that she can go out there and sell to anybody at that point.
Oh, she was mad and she stopped doing it at our store.
I mean, it's
she
that
was
simple.
mad.
There's 2 restaurants in Covington. One that I used to be part of, and we used to watch a person at the beginning of every month come in and try to sell their card. I saw it every month. I saw it. So for anybody that says you're full of shit, I saw it. I used to hear the transaction.
I have an honest to God question, and I don't want to
Go
sound
ahead.
like dumb, but it's an honest to God question. When you use your EBT card compared to like paying cash for snow crabs, is it the same price that they put on the EBT card that you have to pay cash for? You understand what I'm asking?
No, you lost me on that.
What you're basically saying in a duh sort of way is if you buy $30 worth of snow crab, are they going to put $30 back on your card, your credited amount, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be the same
Okay.
amount.
I just didn't know if
It's dollar for dollar.
Okay. I just wondered.
I mean, I watched a lady, and again, I love how everybody tells me I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've watched it. I watched a lady buy a buggy full of groceries. And another woman behind her, she handed the card to her, and she bought a buggy full of groceries. You know what I mean? Come on. It wasn't her mama. It was just one of her friends. But it just sucks, man. Everybody can have whatever feeling they want behind it, but go watch it firsthand and then change your opinion after you see it.
Okay, so we got shared an article, 11 things you didn't know you could buy with EBT. A quesarito from Taco Bell.
Hey, little Richard, let you go because you're starting to get a little choppy.
Okay.
All right,
Bye.
thank you for calling in. It's been a long time, brother.
Y'all be good.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Yeah, y'all be good was even coming out choppy. I think just because
Yeah.
of where he is. All right, go ahead.
So you can buy a quesarito from Taco Bell with EBT cards. Guacamole extra, who cares? It's on the taxpayer.
Yeah, that's what I.
Bail. Convicted felons like drug dealer Kimball Clark have reportedly used their EBT as bail money. Clark
Mhm.
reportedly instructed someone to go to an ATM to withdraw money from his EBT for bail.
I think Wendy's pissed because she's just like keeps posting. And the problem is you're posting information that's given to you basically through news media controlled by the government.
Right.
So how accurate is it going to be?
Right.
Yeah, and that's the article that I found last week, Denise, that you're reading.
Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Number 3 is lingerie. Kiss My Lingerie, an adult store in Gonzales, Louisiana, accepts EBT.
How about the nail salon that's right down the road? I mean, come on.
KFC, well, chicken is a protein, and protein's good for you, right? So that KFC accepts EBT. Shoes, while Payless Shoe Source is known for their BOGO sales, they're certainly not the cheapest place to buy shoes. Despite the prices and functionality, they also accept EBT. You ready for this one?
What?
Strip clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Cha-ching!
Last year, the New York Post reported that FOIA requests revealed welfare recipients were regularly making EBT withdrawals at the ATMs near and inside infamous porn shops, liquor stores, lounges, and hookah parlors. Technically, it doesn't break the law because of the cash assistance program.
How about this from a listener? It's not truly dollar for dollar because EBT is tax free.
True.
Yeah.
Didn't even consider that when that money got put back on the card thing.
Right.
Mhm.
Sorry, I
Lobster.
just thought about it.
No, that's fine. Lobster, like you're talking about the snow crabs. There have been multiple cases of this. As long as it's not tobacco or alcohol, you're golden. Starbucks, while corporate stores don't accept EBT, any Starbucks in a Target or grocery chain is considered a grocery item. So $7 for a mocha cookie crumble, frappuccino, and pumpkin loaf. Go ahead. Cold hard cash. Some people are in the business of selling their EBT benefits for cash. Craigslist has been a great conduit for these creative entrepreneurs. Steph, K-Cups.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't buy coffee in this form because it's too expensive, but it's not off limits in the world of welfare. And number 11, cupcakes and gourmet cakes. It's considered
Mhm.
food, so no matter the price, hello, non-essential $45 cake. And then it says coming soon, ? Pot. Colorado became the first state to legalize the use of recreational marijuana, and they also might become the first state to have taxpayer-funded pot smoking.
No, I have a question, and it might be considered stupid or whatever, but
Well,
they have.
it's from you.
'Cause-
I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you hell this morning because you let somebody poke you
Yeah.
and you didn't handle it. You just started blurring off stuff without saying, so a
Without
listener said.
thinking.
That's what I'm saying. You got to remember who's in control of the conversation.
Um,
Or better yet, if they want to speak their opinion, there's a phone number.
now everybody knows
messed
about
you up.
everybody knows about the edible bouquets or whatever they're called.
Edible arrangements.
Edible arrangements.
Mhm.
That's all food. Can you pay for it?
I'm
By
sure you could
EBT?
work your way around it.
That's fruit mostly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's considered healthy, right?
There
Yeah.
you go.
But it's kind of stupid that somebody should pay extra money for that, right?
Yes.
But it happens.
I wonder if they do. We'll have to find one and call and see, hey, do you accept EBT?
The actual, put it this way, a business that probably makes them, kind of like a flower shop, you know what I mean? Somebody that they specialize in it probably doesn't take EBT like that. But the problem is you got a lot of these grocery stores that make edible arrangements.
Right.
So, of course, you just go ahead and swipe it. Remember the song, The Girl? I posted a video.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Now,
free. Get it on your EBT.
The end of this article says the government currently spends over $110 billion a year on food assistance programs, and they're continually attempting to get more people on board the government program.
Mm.
And look, Wendy,
110
listen,
billion.
this lady Wendy, I'm giving you all the respect in the world here. I don't mean it to sound bad, but she keeps posting stuff. Not a whole lot of people who need assistance are on drugs.
That's correct.
You're correct.
We're not
And
arguing about
nobody has said that.
that. Right.
That's the problem here. And I also believe that while people are reading stuff on Facebook, like my page is unlocked. So anything I post, anybody can read. But I also believe that some of the news thread that's going back and forth, I don't know. I don't want to just start naming everybody, but I don't know if certain people's pages are unlocked. In other words, I can see it, but I don't know if Wendy can see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if when I'm reading some of this, I don't know, are they typing that correctly or are they not seeing the other post or am I, because I'm seeing all the posts? So it does get confusing, everybody. You have to understand how Facebook works as well. But no one has said that not everybody has said that. I'm not saying that every white person in Gainesville, Georgia is a meth head that uses EBT. I'm probably sure, I'm sure that there might be 30% of them up there that might be meth heads because Gainesville's known for its meth. So hypothetically, we can imagine maybe that there's a 45% meth head ratio on EBT up there. Maybe. We're not saying all of them. And again, we're not saying everybody abuses the system. We're not. Nobody said that. What we're saying is that it is abused. And here's my biggest point. Let's just say it like this. If I was getting EBT, I would not be offended if they drug test me because I have nothing to
You
hide.
have nothing to hide. You shouldn't be offended if you don't have anything to
So
hide.
the only people that should be offended by an EBT drug test would be the people on drugs. That's the thing. That's the whole point behind this whole thing. It blows my mind about everybody that wants to debate it. If you're not on drugs, there ain't a problem now, is there?
Nope.
Officer, yes. I don't want you searching my car.
Why?
Well, why don't you want me searching your car? Because I don't think I want you to. Well, if there's nothing in your car, then there's nothing to worry about now, is there? Blowing
I have my constitutional
this
right.
breathalyzer.
But I don't want to.
Again, come on, people. If you've done nothing wrong, you got no problems now, do you?
Right.
Nope.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I just find it funny that most of the people that are complaining aren't drug addicts.
And honestly have no clue as to how the EBT system works.
Just for Piss You Off Radio first thing this morning. How we doing?
What's happening?
What's going on, brother?
Oh man, I'm just listening to this debate.
It's sad that the normal people want to argue. Say what now?
I said I shared my 2 or 3 cents on your post.
Oh yeah. Well, it's sad, and I want to make sure. Hold on. I want to say this before I started to say it, and people are going to misconstrue what I said. It's sad that the normal people are fighting over this, and what I mean by that, it's sad that you have 5 or 6 people that all have different perspectives based on where they grew up or where they live and how they see things. And it's sad that we got good-hearted Americans that apparently, you know, have enough money to own a phone. They have enough money to have Facebook. They have enough money to live. They have enough for electricity. They have enough. The point I'm trying to make is it's sad that the people that aren't abusing the system are defending people that questionably are abusing the system. If you're not doing dope, then a drug test means nothing to you. You should walk in, pee in a cup. They go, hey, man, have a great day. It's that simple. If I went to go apply for a new job, I did electrical work for years. 20 years of doing electrical work, I probably took 30 piss tests. They couldn't let me on a job site running any equipment, using any electric hammer drills or saw cuts or anything if I had dope in my system. Because if I got hurt, hello. So, all right, now go ahead. I just wanted to make sure I defended myself before people started getting even more mad at me.
Well, you know, I'm by and large a child advocate, and that's where some of my thoughts go, you know, immediately. But I think there's larger implications than that. And I agree that the welfare program was not meant to be an extended stay. It was, you know, a leg up or an arm up or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's supposed to just help you out of a situation, and then you're not supposed to take advantage of it.
Right, right. And, you know, back in whatever it was, they had a huge ordeal, I think 96, 97, whatever it was, the Congress passed that Responsibility Opportunity Act or whatever the hell it was. That gave the states control of the welfare system on the state level. So the federal government doesn't retain control of the welfare program. It's down to the states. But my problem is that I knew that you were going to go here with this today or this morning on air, so I saved, you know, I guess some of my best arguments that nobody's happened to mention. And I think I think there's constitutional implications. Intrusive searches, for example, you know, the state of Florida struck down the same law because the courts found that it was intrusive. But, well, you know, what would it lead to next? Are they going to want to test for if you're receiving child support? Are we going to go there in the future?
I don't know, brother.
And you know what? If they do, oh well, because if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have a problem doing it.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing. Everybody keeps posting research and these results. Okay. Let's let the conspiracy theory guy say some stupid stuff here. You're getting information from who? From the government. The same government that says that we don't sneak into countries with our CIA people and kill people, right? The same government that our president takes how many vacations on our dollar. The same government that has an ex-president who had sex in the Oval Office. The same one that's married to a woman that's been stealing stuff and all this illegal stuff for years. The same people that's giving you this supposedly great information are the same people that's screwing you. So just like when we had Channel 5 come out here, Channel 5 came out here, the police department or the sheriff's department put a speed thing on my road to be able to take the information of how many speeders come down my road, and they handed it to Fox 5. Fox 5 goes live the next morning and says, Mr. Spence will be really surprised when he hears these numbers. Of course I'm going to be surprised. They were fraudulent numbers. The numbers that was turned into Fox 5, our local media, were fraudulent numbers. And then the media pumped it out. They pumped all the wrong numbers out. They
knew they would.
They put this sign out there after the morning traffic, which means they didn't catch all the people from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. speeding to work. And then they picked it up at 4:30, which means they didn't get any of the speeders coming home from work. So, of course, the numbers that was supplied by our local government to the local media were fraudulent numbers. So, and you want to believe if they can lie about speeders that they're not going to lie to you about the EBT. Oh my God, is that real? Could that be possible? Of course, people. They don't want you to know how bad our government screwed up. They don't want you to know all that because then they know people like me are going to be out here blasting the hell out of them. They're not going to tell you these things. Bill Clinton, how many times did he have sex in the White House? Oh, well, we only caught him once. That means he only did it once. Okay, let's believe that too.
He did it once, he did it more.
People.
Let me ask you this. What is the goal? You have to ask yourself this question. I think it's very appropriate. What is the goal for this testing? Is it to save money? Surely not. You surely can't think for some reason that it's going to save the taxpayers money. It's going to be reallocated someplace else at the very best. And you're not going to pay less taxes. You're not going to pay less taxes because they initiate a testing law. It's not realistic. It's going to be reallocated someplace else. So if it's not going to food, then the money is going to be spent on testing. That's what I'm getting at. And I posted something yesterday. One of the guys there on your page,
I agree with what you're saying to an extent. But I agree with what you're saying to an extent. But at a point, it'd be just like me running when I had my construction business. If I had the dude that drank too much, I have to start analyzing the fact that I'm paying him this much an hour and he's taking way too long to paint. So then the bid on this paint job, when I said it was going to take 3 days to paint this house, ended up taking 4 days to paint this house. That means I'm out 1 day of labor, right? Don't speak yet. You follow what I'm saying, Miss Math Major? Okay, so that means I'm out. Hold on 1 second. Well, I'm pointing at Denise too because she wanted to say something. So now I'm out 1 day of labor, correct?
Correct.
But I'm not out just 1 day of labor on him. I'm out 1 day of labor on me,
Right.
him, the other 3 guys that was helping me build this house, right?
Right.
And the gas that it took to get to and from work, right? And all the stuff when I had to put ice in the cooler and drinks in the cooler, right? So I'm not out just 1 day of one guy. I'm now out a whole day of an overall expense. Now, I have to assume if I do this for 3 days, I'm out 3 full days. I then have to make a decision. Do I cut one man who might actually improve my production? Okay, so I cut the one man and you say to yourself, okay, you cut a man, but now you're down a man. Are you going to improve production? Well, what's better, wasted time or productive time? So in the beginning of cutting one man, I may say to myself, man, this was a loss. But I want to believe over the next month, my productivity kicks back in. And then hopefully, once I start getting rid of the dead weight, all the ones that are working correctly start producing better.
Right.
That's what you want to believe. You want to believe long term, we may take a hit short term, we may take a hit. But we want to assume that long term, we're going to get our lives back in track. Because if a dude's staying at home smoking dope all day, getting high, do you think he's out there trying to get a job? Because if he can't pass a piss test for EBT, he damn sure ain't gonna pass a piss test to get a job.
Well, and my point too is that guy that drinks all the time, comes to work hungover, is a liability for you too. So if something happens, you're having to fork that out too. So like you were saying,
we're going on the dirt road on that one, but let's be realistic, Scott. You know addicts, you know dope users. I know them certainly in the businesses that I'm in, and we all know people who know addicts or been familiar or have seen the scene or drove to a grocery store and seen the deals or fast food, whatever. We all know a true addict is going to circumvent whatever obstacles in place. What will it do? I don't know. Maybe they start visiting doctors and legitimize their addiction. I don't have any idea what they'll do. But I don't think it's realistic to think that imposing or implementing a law such as this is going to save money anywhere. There's more money involved than just a simple drug test, and you're going to have to staff it. You're going to have to do whatever. Now,
Well, yeah, but, wait. Of course, we know that, which is why I just painted this really good picture of what it would take if I took a loss of a guy that I had working. Of course, our short term, we are going to cause a problem. But if you think about how many households that might be receiving $1,000 a month of free money. So, yeah, we're probably going to spend a chunk of money, but then eventually we're going to weed it all out. Something's got to be done because you know what? It's only getting worse. It's only getting worse by each year. So when are we going to, okay, it's just like when I used to wire stereos when I was 13 years old, when I first started wiring stereos. We just kept putting tape on these wires. Eventually we had to yank the stereo out and fix it and rewire the whole system. So when do we decide that it's broke? We've already put as many Band-Aids on it as we can. When are we going to start over?
Well, I don't know any true statistics. The only true statistic that I'm familiar with is the Tennessee test. And the first 800 applicants they tested in Tennessee, only one of them tested positive for drugs. That's the only stat that I'm familiar with. I wouldn't support the drug tests, but I'll tell you what I would support. How about that? Can we go there for a minute?
No, go right ahead. I'm so open to any real good opinion instead of people that don't really know.
I would support, instead of testing for dope, I would support them checking for vitamin deficiency or something like that for the beneficiaries. Let's test them and see if they're really eating the food.
Yeah, but how's that even possible? I mean, think of that.
You and I both know there's always going to be something. I mean, you couldn't even remedy the situation if you built brick and mortars and set up food dispensaries all over the country. That don't work either because people are going to be selling the blocks of cheese. Hell, they used to do it.
Well, why don't we do this? If I'm in theory, if I'm supposed to show my license or my picture on my bank card before I use it to prove that I am who let's word it this way. Let's just simplify it. If my card's supposed to belong to me and I'm actually supposed to show the person behind the register my card to prove it's me, why can't that be done with EBT? I mean, hell, at this point, put a fingerprint scanner there, and if you aren't the correct person to use the EBT, you don't get it. That should that covers the selling of the EBT, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the day when you had like the little dollar denominations or whatever. When you walked up to the cash register, you had to show them your ID and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all that would do, realistically, in my opinion. And I don't know. I'm not willing to take the chance. I threw a scenario up yesterday about the 10% hypothetical. I'm not willing to implement something if there's a 10% chance, 1 in 10 kids that are supposed to get food, and this benefit program is the only chance they have of seeing it. I'm not willing to say, let's grab the spoon out of their mouth if it only affects one kid, because I couldn't be the one to choose the kid. That's just nobody says there's a correct way here. That's the problem. The problem is we are in a circle like a big bubble that we can't punch our way out of. There is no true answer that's going to solve this, because the kids that are supported, if you will, from parents that are slinging weed, whatever, we don't know what they're getting anyways. So we're making assumptions by saying if we take the EBT, the kids starve. Well, we don't know which one's already starving, and we're giving them the EBT.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we do, and I completely agree with that. But I also feel that it would not be. I don't think that you could say. I think you could be comfortable in saying if you did remove the stamps or the cards or whatever they are nowadays out of a home, surely someplace there's going to be one kid suffers from that.
Oh, surely.
And in my opinion,
But how many
You
kids?
have to applaud.
But think about this: how many kids are sitting at home right now with a parent that's getting $1,200 a month EBT, and mama or daddy is passed out, drunk, stoned, whatever, right now, and ain't getting up fixing the kid anything to eat already? I mean, we already have suffering of the kids. We already have the kids. We're giving the mama or daddy money, and the kids still ain't getting anything. That's the sad part. Oh, we lost Craig. That's the sad part. Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. I dialed you again with my
No, it's all right.
I think you're absolutely right on that. But at the same time, again, you know, in a morbid sense, you have to applaud the very first person that abused this system. Because I'm sure that there was some place in their head they thought, okay, we're not going to end my benefits because of my kid, or because of my children, or whatever. I mean, it was the whole abuse was engineered perfectly, because I think that's one of the larger arguments. And then you're going to have the other people that have constitutional issues, whatever.
Right.
But if there's going to be a fallout, if somebody's going to lose, one way or the other, pros and cons of implementing a test, it has to err on the benefit of the kid. It has to. So, I mean, that's just where I'm at.
I know, but the whole problem is we're handing a drug addict money and expecting them to do what with it? I mean, you seem like a very smart guy, and you seem like a very honest guy. So if I handed you $40 and said, feed that kid, what would you do with it? I mean, you know,
If you did what I'm saying.
the problem is who we're handing the money to. And again, it's a cat chasing its tail, a dog chasing its tail. There is not going to be a correct answer here. I don't know that there can be a correct answer. How can we fix something without hurting somebody? And that's the dilemma.
That's exactly right. Here's the big picture, in my opinion, and this is why like I said, I feel strongly for the benefit to kids. Blah blah blah. I said yesterday on your post, I guess I would support the continued abuse of the system if only one kid gets to eat Cheerios in the morning or whatever. But it's difficult to even rationalize implementing something like this that destroys the opportunity. It's like giving a charity, like we talked about just briefly yesterday. On the side note, to remember, people get all upset and, butthurt or whatever because, hey, my tax dollars are helping subsidize this dope fiend's addiction. Well, your damn tax dollars are going to go to the government. They're going to continue going to the government.
And they're going somewhere anyways. Regardless, they're going to something. That's the sucky part. The sucky part's we're in a screwed up system, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Right. It's going to go someplace. So let's get the thought that these are my tax dollars that these drug addicts are using up. Because your dollars are gone, they're going to go someplace. They're going to redirect them someplace else. If they implement the program, if they save money here, they're going to steal it from over there, etc.
Right.
So let's fall on the side that it's even though there's abuse, it benefits a child someplace.
Right.
Someplace, somehow. It's like when you give dollars, they pass the church plate on Sunday. How much of it's going into the preacher's pocket? How much of it's
look, man, back like 15 years ago, the Michael, golly, I almost said his name. The Michael Bolton Foundation was like in major trouble because they found out how many millions of dollars were being pumped into it and how much of a percentage was actually going to feed the kids and stuff. They went after people for that.
I think truly that you throw the testing of the narcotics or the drugs or whatever out the window. Test the people who's getting the benefits for the purpose of feeding their kids. Let's test the kids and see if they're getting the food. Now, when those come back and the kids aren't getting the food, then you've identified a problem because the monies aren't going to the children. Then I say cut their ass off.
Right. That's right.
But
Well,
that testing the parent to punish the child, I can't put my head around that.
I think you start catching people that are illegally using the card, like Susan. Susan's card got used by Tommy. Tommy should go to jail. Because the only way you could be using it is if it's stolen or you illegally purchased it. There you go. Lock a person up right there. You know what it is you start scaring people, you start testing a few, you start scaring them, people going, oh my God, if I piss dirty, they're going to take away my EBT. I better clean myself up. If I start using stolen cards, I'm going to go to jail. You know, that's why so many people aren't scared to do all these things anymore, because everybody's just slapping people on the hands. Bad boy. Come back tomorrow.
They'll use, just for that test, they'll either use somebody else's junk or they'll
It's
get
ridiculous.
that clean kit that they have.
Look, man, let me go to a commercial. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, a friend of mine just texted me and asked me, he said, whatever happened to the Department of Agriculture squads that used to go around and police the stores that were selling products to EBT users?
See?
Payoff. I don't know.
See, that raises questions too.
Yeah, and I had from a listener that they've tried to call in 4 times.
I got from a listener saying, I was raised in a drug home living on the system, and I work in a business and see it firsthand. I also raise children. I struggle to do it with no help from the system because I choose to work 3 jobs to do so. That's from a listener right there.
A pat on your back.
That is from a listener right there. See, it takes standing up and wanting to be better.
All right, brother. Take care. I'm going to continue listening.
All right, thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And now listen, I haven't been able to jump back on about 15 things Alex has said. Let's cover some things real quick before I go to commercial. Bankers. There's people out there snorting cocaine that's handling millions of dollars and help screw up our economy.
Oh, yeah.
Those folks need random drug testing too.
Yes.
How about the prescriptions being written? How about big time pharmaceutical companies that are helping give doctors kickbacks for doctors to turn around then and write prescriptions to then turn around and give some of these prescriptions to people that is on government assistance, because they know that if they're already on government assistance and they already know that the government's going to be the ones paying for the pills and paying for the visits to the doctor, then what a racket. I just keep writing prescriptions to this lady. She's going to have to keep coming back to get more pills because I've now made her an addict. She's already on government assistance and she's high. That's just the legal prescription part of it that's not being done right. People. You know what I've done today? I've treated you all like the little Howdy Doody doll. I pulled the string on the back of your chest to see what was going to come out of your mouth. What I've done is pissed all of y'all off. I've made every one of you open your eyes to start trying to see something differently. Quit living in the circle world that you live in, where you keep walking to work, walking home from work, walking to work, walking home from work. You need to focus on what's out there. Open your eyes to see the reality of everything that's going on in this world. I sit at these gas stations while I'm like pumping gas or whatever, and I just stop and watch all the things happening. You know, I did that when I told y'all to go into the Waffle House and pick a hand that your waitress has and watch how many things that she touched with her hand.
Yeah.
So I'm OCD, people. I pay close attention to the things around me because it's just a problem that I have. But if I can watch the world, why can't you watch the world? Open your eyes. And if anything, I've pissed you off enough this morning to make you open your eyes. Now, we're running off to commercial. We'll be right back, everybody.
Yeah, because we did the
Take
whole
a deep breath, Scotty. Take a
morning
deep breath.
We did the whole morning show without a commercial break.
Alex said,
I
I
know.
can't wait for EBT week. The world will be so much more chill. Okay, I'm taking this one out real quick, and we need to put her up before
Well,
Chase gets here.
I haven't got word that he's supposed to text me.
Well, I mean, Getting here at 9, so he's not like. Come on, baby, you gotta go up. Come on, baby girl.
Oh, my neck popped.
It's
So good.
wild watching so many people just chime in over stuff when you haven't heard them
Well, plus
run.
they're-
Some of these people hadn't chatted about nothing worth nothing in a long time.
and a lot of people are still
Alex,
They're
a weed
living in a
shop in Colorado has already started the process to accept EBT.
Yep.
Make sure we talk about that when we get back.
okay.
Woo! Golly, I stayed in that leather seat so long, my shorts are sweating and stuck to my freaking.
Well, I mean,
pants.
here it is, fixing to be 9 o'clock, and this
And
is
ain't
the
slowed
first
down.
commercial break that we've taken.
Woo! Yeah, I'm like stuck, man. My underwear stuck to my butt. My shorts are stuck to my leg. Everything's stuck to the leather.
I walked in on that wrong part of
Oh,
our conversation.
No, I went to look. I went to stand up, and everything from here to the back of my knees was like stuck. My underwear, my pants, everything. Because I mean, you're just sitting in a leather chair, sweating, and it's hot in here. Go up, push that heater button until it turns off. Just push it and hold it until
You're
everything shuts
hot?
off. Yeah. Hello, the blood is pumping. Why is yours not?
I don't know. I
You're
am
getting
freezing.
lit up
See,
more than me.
feel
What is
my
wrong with you?
hands.
You need to get up on the EBT, get you some heroin going.
Hey, I just
No.
got, don't forget we taxed the hell out of the poor with the lottery.
Huh?
Tax the hell out of the poor with the lottery. Because everybody that can't afford anything, make sure they go and buy their tickets.
Oh yeah. That's true.
I like Alex's comment. Hey, baby. Tell Daddy to go put you up real quick. In case Chase gets here.
Well, why don't he's supposed to text me when he's here?
So we'll just run to commercial when he says he's here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do that? Which celebrity is still alive quiz?
In just a second.
Not during commercial.
If you throw it, I will throat punch you. Because I picked up so much of your crap
I
yesterday.
picked up both of the things that I dropped. Put it down.
You didn't drop shit. You threw it.
And I picked it up.
How come there was like 4 of them laying over here that I picked up?
Yours.
I wasn't throwing that crap at you. I was picking it up.
Those are from you putting them in your mouth and just setting them right there.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly what you're talking about.
She's lost her mind. The little paper balls you threw at me like that, I picked up and set there to put in a trash can.
2 at you, and I picked both of them up, sir.
You're an idiot.
Look at me.
You know, she gonna get you because she don't like all that shit. All right, B, go lay down, baby.
It's okay, baby.
She's not dumb enough to do that. Hold on. You see what right there? Oh, I gotta tell you a funny. So Alex yesterday turns on his live feed.
Yeah.
And he's like, look at the new setup with a Scott's got. Well, let me turn my light on so you can see it. He goes, look at the new computers. Oh, and the shotgun. He didn't see the shotgun until he turned the flashlight on.
That's funny.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
That was a good last segment.
Yeah, man, we're not going to go there anymore. We've done so much poking. And here's the thing, everybody, my job is to entertain you. My job is to poke you, prod you, get you out of your seat, make you think, open your eyes, make you see different points of views. See different points of views.
See the big up.
Not always see just the way you want to see it, but to see it the way everybody helps to try to see it. So,
and our guests.
oh, Jesus Christ. Were we not just on break?
I know, but I just got the text that they're here.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. I got to get a song on so I can put the dog up because our guests are here. We'll be right back, everybody.
Come on, baby. What's he doing? Go. Hey, go. No. Go, baby. Go, baby. Go. Go.
So unfreaking professional. From now on, we need we'll be there in 5.
Yeah.
Not unprofessional on them, unprofessional on us is what I'm saying because we just went from break. We're going back. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. I just was saying to Denise, if you're watching video, you would have heard me. But I just said to Denise, I said, man, that is so unprofessional. Like we go to break and then we come back. So.
And then we go to break again.
So I got from Alex, that was a good effing segment, Scott. Nice job. And no yelling either. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, he can do that sometimes.
Well, because sometimes I have somebody that just pushes my button way too much, and then I explode a little bit.
Let him get under
But
your skin.
no, I mean, I wanted to have this. I wanted to poke and prod, make people open their eyes up, because, golly, she doesn't shut the door. It didn't shut all the way. I'm telling you, it's just like a madhouse in here today. So everybody that's sitting here today, you know, we've done what we did to make you see it differently. Again, everybody wants to have their own opinion, but it's real simple for the guy that lives out in the country or the girl that lives out in the country. It's real simple for her to paint an image of what the EBT in her area looks like. Well, that's real easy. But were you outside of Hibbett Sports when Air Jordans were on sale? Because I'm pretty sure you might have been down at the boot store not Hibbett Sports. That's the difference. You have to look at where you're living. Where you're living is always going to be a different setup. Your environment's always going to be different. And you can't go by everything you read on Facebook because, hell, if that's the case, I'm one sexy beast. Well, and Denise is Mother Teresa. Hey, there's headphones in every seat, Denise. See what happens when Denise starts thinking again? It gets dangerous. I thought I saw smoke come out of her mouth a minute ago, and it wasn't from a cigarette. Yeah, your husband's, yeah. So, again, we're being super unprofessional over here, but it is just for fun radio, so it's not like anything really truthfully happens that matters. Sure, I'll just stop the show again for you, Denise.
I'm saying put the camera up.
You gotta love it, man. It's a madhouse in here. Anywho's. So, yeah, man, we did a great job making sure that everything worked, trying to get everything going. Did anybody just try to bust into our Twitter account?
I didn't do anything with it. You know,
Use this temporary password to sign into your Twitter account. So that means somebody just tried to hack our Twitter.
Yes.
How funny. So we've pissed. You could sit down now. You're just rambling.
No, I was gonna say I'm the one that does the Twitter.
Apparently, though.
Somebody tried to.
Let's just point the obvious out. So introduce our guest, Steph. Let's get on that topic.
Well, we got to make sure they're. Are they on? Okay, we have Chase. Shut up!
I'll tell you what, Stephanie, you are just pumped and primed today. I'm so happy that you're here.
I love you too.
Golly.
Yeah,
Steph.
see, I can't hear him.
Well, that's what Stephanie, we have to have them. Okay, Steph, can I explain how this microphone works?
No, because I know how it works.
They first have to make a noise so that we can see that the mic's on. Everybody, welcome to the world of Redneck Steph today. Okay, Steph, and the other thing is, didn't I just rewire the entire studio?
Yes, you did.
So, testicle difficulties.
Just a little bit.
You should know. You have a set.
No, I had them chopped off.
All right, well.
Chopped them off. They gave her the herpes cream all in one visit.
And got whacked.
No, I got a shot for that.
Make sure both of the on switches are on those mics. But yes, y'all, again, we did over an hour of pure chaos. Yeah, Denise, you have to take the headphones off. Denise is in the chair rolling over to the next person and didn't take the headphones off. And you're going to be a math major.
I don't need
1 + 1 is not 17.
I don't need that to do math.
Only time that adds correctly like that is when you're at a bar drinking, because there's one, and you end up with 17.
Up or down?
Depends on how many drinks Denise has. I don't know. Was she asked a question involving you and drinking? Up, Stephanie. Forward, towards your mouth. Denise.
Really?
Yes. It probably was, Stephanie. Just sit down at this point, please.
Stay up, though.
Y'all have
Yeah, it
welcome.
won't stay up.
Welcome to the chaos.
Yes, it's been
That's the morning
we
show.
approached the EBT conversation and just busted the balloon. It's been extremely it's like watching Nickelodeon back in the day when they'd slime people.
I'm awake now. I wasn't
Yeah.
awake before. I'm awake now.
Can you turn his?
I'm thinking it's the tap it one time with your finger. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
it's
on.
on.
There we
Are
go.
we on there?
All right, Steph.
Yes.
His won't
Now.
stay up.
Sorry, I don't usually have that.
Steph. Well, Stephanie told me a long time ago that she would be my getter-upper if I ever needed it. Now I need you to be his.
Well,
Hey,
somebody has to.
I'm
do it.
gonna explain something to you called leverage. Do you know what leverage is? So if you use a wrench that's that long and you can't turn the bolt, you usually put a piece of pipe on it and it makes it a little longer and then it moves, correct?
Mhm.
So if that is completely that way, that's called leverage, right?
Mhm.
So then take the curve up a little more. No.
No, hold
Okay,
on.
stop. You see where your right hand, go back because this is way too funny. Y'all need to really be watching video. You see where your right hand is and that she's jacking off the mic stand. Listen, Stephanie, where your right hand is, straighten that. Straighten it up. Come on. Now raise your hands up. Now bend it down there. And then you can move the mic stand over a little bit if you had to.
Aha.
There you go.
It stayed up.
Can you hear?
How did I have to teach a
He can't
professional
hear
how
our
to get it up?
headphones.
Make sure
Oh.
it's plugged in.
More technical difficulty.
And then how about that?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, there
You got it there?
There you go.
Yeah, see.
We're usually ready.
Well,
just
we
so
were
you know.
we were too busy raising
Yeah,
hell
we-
this morning to get set up.
We usually have a break every what? 30
30
minutes, 20 minutes. We went about an hour and 15 minutes without
Well,
a break.
we hit a topic this morning that seemed to
Strike a nerve.
strike a nerve
Yeah.
on several hundred people.
So, Steph, introduce again.
Stephanie, now to turn it over to you.
Okay. So we have Chase Smith and Edward Boss
That's it.
from Spirit World Productions.
That's
Yes.
right. That's us.
And y'all are both native Georgians?
We are.
Yes, we are.
Cool.
Edward's from right down the
Yeah,
road
I
over
am.
here.
Where's White now? Where's White down the road?
Right down the road over here.
I live right near Heritage High School.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah. So you are a city or
He's a Conyers native.
Conyers native.
Yeah.
Same with you?
No, I'm from Snellville, so a little bit further north.
He's a Guanetian.
Yeah, Gwinnetian. yeah.
Okay.
We're special.
Yeah, I lived in the Snellville area for 14 years and then ended up over here. Didn't realize I was going to be so close to her, but hey, you know,
Jacob said turn it up here.
I just did. I am so glad you're paying attention.
Hey,
If
and
you
you're
throw
the
it, I'm hitting you.
you're the one that wants me to move across the street.
There you got
You
the
know
power.
the expression, you keep your enemies closer.
Keep
Truly, I can keep up with you then.
Keep talking.
That's why I bring Edward everywhere. Close.
So, come on, Steph.
So, tell us a little bit about this movie, Backroad
It's,
79.
Dark Road
Dark
79.
Road 79. Sorry.
Just
I'm so
could-
glad I let you do the research.
I could tell you about Back Road 79, but I don't know a lot about
It's
it.
not
Stephanie-
safe for the
Stephanie
radio.
knows a lot about Back Road 69, but then when she hooked up with her cousin, it becomes 79 because it was her second cousin, and I don't mean
Oh. No, it
second
was
through
my first-
relation.
it was
I
my
mean
first
it was her
cousin.
second
Second one.
cousin. Yeah.
No,
her
look,
second
she's
one.
like, it was my first cousin.
No, here's my first cousin.
Thanks for clarification.
Dark Road 79 was the last film we did. We shot it last May.
Yeah.
And that was our 6th film overall.
wow.
It starred Bill Moseley, who's probably most famous for being in everything Rob Zombie's done, House of a Thousand Corpses and Halloween and Devil's Rejects, stuff like that. And it's about a Southern rock band in 1979 that was once popular, really popular for almost the whole decade, and then now they're playing little, crappy venues and bars, and they're nothing anymore, and they can't figure out why. And the movie starts out at the last
Sorry.
concert. Hey, you're fine. The last concert they're doing, and is actually filmed at Smith's Old Bar downtown.
Oh, so it was all filmed here.
Everything was filmed here.
Oh, cool.
Everything we film everything in Georgia. We try to hire mostly Georgia talent, but sometimes we bring in people like Bill and stuff. So the film starts out and they're down on their luck. They come out, their tour bus is gone. They've got this old crappy 79 RV that they're having to roll around in now, and their manager tells them that they've got 2 weeks to come up with a new sound, or they're getting dropped from their label completely. And they go out to these cabins, for retreat to try to come up with this new sound, these new songs. And they get out there and, wackiness ensues. From that point, they find out that their lead singer has a secret that's going to get them all killed. And he sort of made a deal, not to give too much away. He sort of made a deal a decade ago to for their popularity and their fame, and that deal's running out. And
Gotcha.
people start disappearing. They start a lot of really people turning on each other. It's not a monster movie. It's more like a suspense, thriller.
Just
and
like a psycho type movie.
yeah.
It's like your family fighting over chicken.
No, that would be Watermelon.
Oh my God.
Hey, if you're out somewhere and there's nowhere to get, no way to get out, and people start disappearing, and they start blaming each other and turn on. It's just
Yeah.
human nature, right?
Yeah.
They start going after one another, and there's a lot of good music in the movie though. So it's we had Benton Blunt, who was a finalist on America's Got Talent this year. He recorded one of the songs I wrote for the film. So there's some good music in it. So
so you're writing that as well. I mean, you're involved with all the picking and choosing of the music, everything.
Everything. We do everything. The way that we're able to do these films that look like we have way bigger budget than we do is because we own our own equipment. We have these connections, and we basically can do everything from the start to the finish. If we had to hire this stuff out, like we edit the films ourselves, that's what we're doing. We were up really late last night working on that. If we had to hire that stuff out, we'd need, another $250,000 of budget.
Yeah.
If I had it laying around, I'd let you borrow it.
Well, I'd appreciate it. I'm not saying we wouldn't take it. I'm just saying we would have to have it.
So you actually wrote the movie.
Yes.
Wrote the songs. You star in the movie.
Yeah.
Wow, you're a jack of all trades there.
Yeah, and I directed it. Normally, I'm not in our movies. This was just one of those things where I was like, we're not going to find. There was a spot for a big roadie, in their big road manager, and I was like, well, I can do that. and then you start filming it and you're like, oh, I'm trying to direct people and then jump over here and it's like, oh, what the hell was I supposed to be saying again? So it's
gets a little complicated, I'm sure, trying to do everything. I try, and then you end up with help.
Yeah.
And
you end up with help in quotations. But
you end up with the person that guards the beer and the person that drinks the beer.
Yes. 99 days.
She's learned not to sit on styrofoam coolers though.
No, that wasn't me.
That or it was on purpose, because then it's like, oh God, I gotta drink this before it gets hot. So I wasn't real sure what her plan was.
That wasn't me.
And I shared the Dark Road 79 trailer on our
awesome.
Facebook, or on our Just for Fun Facebook page.
Awesome. Yeah.
So when you're filming, are you trying to stay, of course, just in Georgia, but are you staying like real central? Like, I mean, if we watched a movie, would we recognize half of what's in there? I mean, that's always a thought. It's like when we're watching parts of the Vampire Diaries and all this other stuff. You're always trying to catch what's in the background.
Yes. Sometimes we're pretty central. Sometimes we have to go pretty far out there. Like Smith's Old Bar was downtown, and that's a landmark that a lot of people might know. But then where we went to these cabins, it was at a place in Toccoa, and the name of the resort was actually called Trembly Bald, which just sounds like something different.
Go ahead, Denise. Figured you was already thinking about that one.
And
Trembly Ball, one cold night in Georgia. I don't,
So that one was pretty far out there in the middle of nowhere. These cabins this guy had brought in from all over, like a couple were even from like Sweden or Switzerland or something. Brought them in piece by piece, put them back together. So I don't think anybody's going to recognize that, but a lot of times, we're pretty central around. You catch stuff that you might know.
Cool.
Definitely when the band's driving in the bus or in the middle of Atlanta.
I was gonna say, you got to get on that thing.
Get closer.
Yeah. You'll see a lot. Yeah, when the band's driving in their RV.
Yeah, their RV.
Yeah, you'll see. Yeah, you'll see. Yeah, bus is real generous.
Oh, so does it look worse than that one in the driveway?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
It's one of those.
Is she talking junk about your bus?
What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh my gosh.
You used to ride in that thing.
I know, I still do from time to time.
No, key word. You used to
Hey,
ride
I
in
have
that
not
thing.
I have a key to it, thank you.
No, your husband has a key.
It's one of those that has the beautiful, still like orange gold shag carpet
in
it. So
It's like the one on your carport at home.
It's
no,
pretty.
I don't own an RV.
Hey, it rolled.
The carpet.
Whatever.
Sorry.
See, you had no idea.
I had no idea.
When
We
you were
had no
coming
idea.
here, you were like, "Cool, an internet radio station."
And I thought, I don't know, I'm tired, and then we get here and it's like, I didn't have nearly enough caffeine. But now I don't need it.
Yeah. Well, God, that was going to sound bad. I was going to say she'll pump you up, but that really sounded a whole lot worse.
We got coffee if y'all want.
Yeah, we can make you some coffee.
I'll try to make it through.
So what got you two guys into all this? I mean, let's look at the facts of, we know here lately a lot of stuff's been happening in Georgia,
Right.
which to me is super cool. I mean, I love to see anybody that's jumped out on that ledge, because I did. I mean, I took a leap of faith. It's really awesome to see other people doing it. I encourage it more than anything, because I think we that little normal mold that we all thought we were supposed to be in. You know, you're either supposed to be working at the grocery store, or you're supposed to be a construction worker, or you're supposed to work at a hospital. I think it's really cool that we all are branching out, doing stuff, and people go, that can't be done. 5 years ago, they said this couldn't be done. I'm like, yeah, now I'm 5 years old, and you're telling me it can't be done. I mean, there's a bus sitting in the yard. It can't be done. Right. So it's really awesome to see that you've done this, and you've done multiple movies. So kind of paint us a picture of when you got started. Is this something you both knew you wanted to do? You know, things like that.
It was something that I always knew that I wanted to do, but I tried to do everything else first because it's such a high risk, type of job, like you said. And I mean, I went to school. I went to Georgia. I owe them the rest of my life. I've got, multiple master's degrees of trying to do this other stuff. But my background, one of my degrees was in writing, and I taught high school, believe it or not, for a while. And I was like, 10 years from now, I'll be standing in the same room teaching this same thing on this same day. And what I really want to do is make movies. And I went and got on a set as an extra. I said, I'm going to figure out how to do this. I went and got on when they were filming American Reunion down here. I said, I'm going to take my script and I'm going to go on there and I'm going to find some other extras and stuff like that. People who maybe went to school for this, they want to do this. And I can find people that have some talent to help me make this. Let's just do this thing ourselves, because if you sit around waiting for Hollywood to make one of your scripts or give you the money to do that, it ain't going to happen. If you want to do it, you got to do it. That's what I say.
Corporate. That's why I created this, because corporate radio, corporate everything is not what it used to be. And the big boys don't care about us. It's a hustle. And if we want it, we got to make it for ourselves.
And it's like now that we have distribution through for our films, you find out they give you these stats. Like most of ours are distributed through like Brain Damage Films and Midnight Releasing. And they'll tell you that, they receive a couple thousand unsolicited independent films per month. And you realize like 99.9% of independent films that are made don't get distributed. So it's hard. And it took us forever to get our first one in. We actually made 3 movies before we got the first one distributed. And that was actually the third film that we made, called Realm of Souls. We got that distributed. And once that started doing well for them, then we were able to have a deal with them where we can, they'll do all our films. So we're very fortunate in that. And I look, people say, well, how do I get into this? I want to make movies. Like, you just have to do it. And you have to commit to it. You have to know what
there's no
doing.
Putting your foot in the water. You jump head first.
I left a teaching job. I was like, this, I'm going to try this. Right. I'm going to do it. You just have to, do it. And it's really, if you don't have the balls for it,
that's the best way to say it. I just happened to get lucky because I was DJing and I had a construction business, and the construction business was going down. So I call it the seesaw effect.
Yeah.
And at that point I had no choice. I just jumped. Just Fun Radio.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you? I'm sorry.
I know who
I'm listening to the show right now.
Well, who do we have calling in?
Echoing, so I can't hear you. This is April Buggins. I actually played Grace King in Dark Road 79.
Hey, cut that down in the background.
We'll get an echo. Turn your radio down back there.
But thank you for listening.
Yes, we're not criticizing. We can hear us in the background.
See, hey, turn it down, April. Okay, you can see that the delay. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. All right, there you go.
Great. I'm just calling in to give a shout out to Spirit World Productions, because they really are the real deal here in Atlanta. I've worked with a lot of people, big movies to independent films, and Chase rocks. He's just awesome at what he does.
I feel so slack ass right now.
Sideman is perfect.
Cool. That's so awesome to hear.
I'll be by to drop you off the money in a little while.
Yeah, I was about to say, how much are you
Yeah. It's like 2 tickets to a movie,
a
for
6-pack
a matinee,
of beer.
right? Yeah. 2 stale donuts and a glass of half-used tea.
Yeah.
Gross.
A couple Blue Moons.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Now you're hitting. Now you're hitting on it. But yeah, April was the lead in Dark Roads.
See,
79.
now I got to watch it. And I don't mean to sound bad. I've been trying to this time of the year, and you got to know, you guys do what you do.
Mhm.
You have to, depending on the time of your year, when's your busiest part. Like for me, this is right now at the end of this month kicks off where I start back wide open. So I've been
Right.
trying to squeeze in for the last 3 months, all this remodeling stuff. And
Well, you
and,
hadn't missed it yet.
I
We're
feel
still
slack.
working.
I need to
We're
see
still working
these.
on it. It's not. We
Okay.
were up editing it last night.
Yeah.
It was hard to get out of bed this morning. Like,
and I got to
Well, we're
give y'all
glad you
props,
did.
by the way. I've been trying to do a little more video, and I'm having to sit and edit. And what sucks is I want to say I'm only doing maybe close to 0.5% of what you guys do. I have to sit there and go through about 30 minutes worth of video to make a 5-minute video. And by the end of the night, I'm like, God, this sucks. Who
Yeah.
wants to do this? And you guys are taking hours and hours and hours and
yeah.
hours and hours of video and compressing it. I got to give you mad props because
Yeah,
your patient
it's-
level is 10 times better than mine.
It's hard. People don't realize till they see it. Even April, she's came over, and seen how we do things, in post production, and you realize that you're running 2 cameras on every shot that
Yeah.
you do.
Mhm.
And we're filming 8 to 10 hours a day, and then you film for 20 days, and you start to think about
How much? Yeah.
footage that you're cutting down into an hour and 40-minute movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
Hey, I never thought about it till I
what
had to
helps
do it.
them is, well, it's great because Chase and Edward make a fantastic team, and them working together is phenomenal, and that's what makes it work.
Yeah, you can't. You have to have a lot of patience. You'd kill yourself if you tried to do it by yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You,
You know.
you definitely have to have
Yeah.
a good team.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. People don't even think of the sound. With ours, the sound and video are separate. You
Right.
got
That's
that-
the
you-
guy's gonna say another
so-
complicating part.
Yeah, so you're syncing before you can even get started on the edit. You've got to sift through all that footage for the scene that you're doing, find the best takes. Then you got to find the audio for that, sync that together, and all of those, all that process before you can even start to, okay, now let's cut it into something.
God,
Oh,
see,
wow.
we tried to do a video, and this is just to paint a picture. This is why I'm looking at her. So, me and 2 other people were doing this thing in an antique store, and it was funny. It was great. But her husband, who has my nice HD camera on his arm, he's filming, and I got this nice setup. And he's filming, and he's walking through the antique store. And instead of remembering at the top of the screen, our face shouldn't be dead center of the screen because you want to get from the
Yeah.
top of our head to our waist. He's got our face dead center. So you see all the ceilings, you see everything. But as he's walking, he's like this with the camera, and he looks up at a ceiling fan. And then he looks over, and as we're talking, he turns to his right, and he's like, look, that's the heat of the night stuff. Well, first, we don't need to hear you say, look, it's the heat of the night stuff. You're supposed to be videoing us. Secondly, we're over here. The Dukes of Hazzard's lunchbox that you're videoing's over here. Why are you filming the ceiling fan? Why are you filming the heat of the night jail cell? Why are you filming the Boss Hog cup? We're over here.
It explains a lot, though, right?
But does it not explain
Yeah,
it?
it does.
So when you're talking
Dad,
about
we're the
editing, I'm
rednecks.
looking at her going, Jesus Christ, I remember what we went through for 1 minute worth of video. We were in there 10 minutes, but it was only going to be 1 minute. And it was, you basically got a good shot of us going in and a good shot coming out. That's it.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's great. We just shot a couple weeks ago for Benton Blunt. We did a music video
Yeah.
for him, and we spent a whole weekend shooting that. And that's for, a 3-minute and 30-second song,
Yeah.
and it's just, you shoot all this great footage, and then you go and you put it back, and you're like, man, that was a lot of work for 3.
Well, and
3
people don't
minutes and 30
realize
seconds.
how much work it takes to get just that much
Right.
stuff.
And,
it
let me
takes-
ask this, because this is what I found. Trying to get somebody to run camera for you and multiple times run camera for you. The trustworthy part of not breaking your equipment.
Oh,
but
shut
the
up!
other part is this. So you, as a director and the writer, like you have a vision of what you
Mhm.
want filmed. How hard is it for somebody else to be running the camera to be able to get what you want. Because like me, I have it in my mind, everything I want videoed.
Mhm.
And now one of my guys, Alex, we went to the gun show and I know what I want videoed of the two guys. I
Right.
got Alex with a microphone interviewing the guy. So it's like, I know what I want.
Mhm.
And I think I'm doing great at making what I want on film. My problem is I need to be the guy interviewing, but I have nobody that I can like get the vision I want. So you must be very good at expressing, hey, this is what I want. And
For the most part, yes. But I'll tell you that when I'm not in the movie, I'm running the A camera.
okay.
I'm running because it is still easier to, I know exactly how I'm going to cut it. I know
Right.
exactly how I'm going to tell that story from the moment that I wrote it.
What's all in your head? You know
Yes.
what I mean? You've got the
Yep.
vision.
So, on this last film, because I was going to be in it so much, we hired other camera people to do the stuff. And no matter what you do, you run into problems. Like we had multiple days where we had to go back the next day after I reviewed footage and shoot stuff again. Cause
Right.
like, nope.
Because you're like, that's not
Yeah.
what I felt. That's
Yeah.
not what I saw.
That's not what I saw. Or, hey, you cut somebody's damn head off.
That's right.
You can't do
Yeah.
that.
Look at that fan.
Yeah, like
Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox.
Or the boom got in the shot.
yeah, or you got to always watch the boom. Or
Yes. I
there's-
love that though. In movies, I pick for that.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate to be that guy, but I'm going, look, they're still filming in the microphone.
yeah, it'll take you right out of the scene though.
Yeah.
If you do
Yeah.
that. So it's the next movie we're doing. I'm like, I'm done in front of the camera. That's not where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
I'm gonna run point. I know how I want the lights to look. I know the feel of what I'm going for. Let's just cut out that middleman, keep my ass behind the camera instead in front of it, and we'll shoot this thing right. And a lot of times, Edward will run the B cam, but he's my assistant director. So on this next film, we have somebody that did the music video with us. She's probably going to run that because people are always like, Chase, I got this because we shoot with Canon cameras. And they're like, well, I went in and I bought this, $50,000 setup for Red camera, and all this stuff.
Ooh.
How come our stuff doesn't look as much like watching a movie as yours does? I was like, well, number one, just because you went and bought that expensive camera doesn't mean you know how to use it.
That's right.
It doesn't mean you know how to light the scene. Doesn't mean you know about shot composition,
And lighting. God, I've had
Lighting.
to create
Yes.
lighting. Let me tell you.
It's hard.
How many times I've had to watch so many different things, and I've already changed out so many bulbs, and God, lighting alone is a pain in the butt.
Yep. Well, lighting gives you your depth. If you do it
Mhm.
wrong, it looks flat and it looks like somebody's filming a home movie in their backyard. So I'm like, it's more than the equipment you use. It's whether you know how to use it and
That's right.
get what you want out of it.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
a
about
nightmare.
the creativity behind the camera too.
yep.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Face is amazing. So
See, every time she says something, it just
All you see is cha-ching.
I do cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Well, the thing too that I know from how I have to do stuff, and I can only imagine with you, if you're trying to be the captain of the ship,
Mhm.
you're trying to make sure that everything's happening at the right second. And if you're behind the camera, you're now focusing on the camera and you're not focusing on the bigger picture. So it probably does get a little confusing, because you have it in your head and how you want it. But again, you need somebody that's going to be a great assistant with you.
Right.
That's going to be going, okay, man, I know while you're focusing on this, I'm going to see to this happening. So
Right.
that really helps too.
And that's why, we want the camera out of his hands. Sure, we can both run the camera
Right.
and do fine, but it's like, okay, let me run this camera and we'll get somebody else just to run the B camera, the
Yes.
second camera. And you can handle all that stuff because you've been there with me since the creation. You know the vision, too, that I'm going for. So when I'm having to focus on this, you make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed
Right.
to be doing, because especially on these films, you don't have time to mess around,
Yes.
because time is literally money.
Yes,
You can't extra
exactly.
days, you've got a location. Like we had Smith's Old Bar, we had it for one day for 12 hours and we had literally like 12 scenes. Now that sounds more than it is because some of them were just like cut over here. Somebody says one line, it cuts
Right.
back to the stage performance.
But
or
you still
whatever.
have to turn,
You had to get it
set the
done.
cameras up, set the
Yeah.
lighting up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing is when people are watching this, they have no idea what it takes because you're looking. That's what I try to explain when somebody says, hey, I need you to do this wedding, but the wedding's here and the reception's here. I'm like, you do realize I have to tear down everything
Uh-huh.
and come over here and set it back up. And they're like, yeah, but you got like 5-10 minutes. I'm like, it takes 30 minutes
Yeah.
to tear down,
5 or 10
to
minutes,
move it,
please.
and another 30 to set it back up sometimes. And they're like, well, I didn't know that. I went,
Yeah.
if you want
Yeah.
2 separate setups, that means I have to actually add another hour because I got to get there and set up a second setup. And they're
Mhm.
like, but I didn't. That's the problem. It's people just don't know.
People-
Well, and our
Yeah.
Tech Talk guy, he was like, this guy would be great on Tech Talk.
Yes,
He's
and
on
we have another
Tuesday
show too.
nights, and so he'll probably be getting in touch with you to
Okay.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you don't realize we have a lot of people that come and work with us, and they'll work with us a couple films, and they think, oh, well, you know what? I really want to direct myself, direct a film myself. I see what you I came to set and I saw what you do, and I start laughing. I was like, by the time we've got the set, it's not as easy as calling action and cut. By the time we've got the set, I've done a million things to get this ready
God,
for
I
this
so-
one shot.
I tell her, I laugh all the time.
We've seen what they produced, and it was a flop.
Oh yeah, but that's where I was going. I've had so
I'm
many
just
people.
saying, they're not you.
Yeah, see, there's so many people that have said the same thing. Oh, I'm gonna open an internet radio station. Okay,
Yeah.
Mhm.
good luck.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be me. You don't have the time to do what I do. You don't have the talent to do what I do. You don't have the skill to do what I do, and you dang sure ain't got just what it takes to do it.
Yeah.
And I laugh. People like a few people I know go, "Wow, you don't do nothing." What?
Yeah.
Well, you sit there and just talk on something, and you're there for a couple hours, and that's it. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
really? I don't stop till 4 something in the afternoon. Just because the mic turns off, don't mean it's over.
And
No,
No.
it's not.
Alex also said
Exactly.
he said he did a feature film, and he was like, it was a horrible experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
You have to be the guy.
Yeah.
And y'all.
Yeah.
It's kind of like y'all are born to do this, and you
Mhm.
have to have the talent to want to do this and the skill to want to do this. I tore down the radio station a couple of days ago, and one of my buddies came over here and walked into the house and went, "Holy cow!" He's like, "Thank God you know where everything goes and every wire." I went,
Right.
"Oh yeah." For the guy that says I don't know nothing.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't see it, but you two could walk around here and look down and go, "Oh my God, look," because you
Yeah.
can really tell. It's just like if I come to your set, I could probably go, "Man, that camera looks good." I probably don't know that there's like 15 add-ons to this camera to
Right.
make it before it can even film that one scene.
Right.
And that's the part they don't know.
Yeah, it's we start we're in beginning pre-production right now on our next movie as we're still finishing the last one, and people don't realize you got 3 or 4 months of pre-production before you ever get
So you're up last
On
night
set.
editing one
and
and still planning the next one at
Yeah.
the same time.
I'm going over the script that I'm just finished writing, rewriting, checking out that script as I'm jumping back over doing the final edit on a scene that he just rough cut.
Good
It's
Lord.
like
See again, man, my hats are down to you guys because the whole editing part, and two, you're now looking at 2 different stories,
Yeah.
two
Right.
different storylines, 2 different visions of how something's supposed to be, and you're having to also decipher it in your mind to go, okay, I don't want to mess that one up because I'm thinking about this one.
two
Man, that's cool,
completely
though.
different movies too. They're
That's
both,
talent right there.
It's and we're sitting there and it's like, man, it's 2:30 in the morning. We better try to go to bed tonight,
Yeah.
because
Right.
usually
Go to
it's
sleep.
like you're racing till 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and then you're up at 10 the next day, and you're trying to get it done again because you only have a certain amount of time to get your stuff done. You got to get it out and get to the next one.
That is so awesome. Well, let us shoot to a commercial real quick. I know we've had one hell of a morning this morning. I was really
Yes.
behind on that. Give us a minute because I think you're trying to leave, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll see you
Give-
tomorrow.
Give us just a second and we'll be back, everybody. Hey, caller, can we get you to call right back?
I'll call back.
Yeah, call back because we've been leaving you on hang a little bit. We'll talk to you a little bit too.
Oh, it's okay. I'm enjoying listening to you.
All right.
I love your show.
Oh, well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Definitely call us right back then because we want to hear some stories about working with these guys.
Oh God, call back,
No.
April. That ought to be interesting.
All right.
All right,
I'll
bye.
call back. I promise.
All righty.
Okay, bye.
Oh, David,
That was this morning.
it's wide open today.
Oh, that was his blowout.
Yeah. See it?
Dang.
Yeah, my husband decided on 285 this morning.
Show me
Oh,
how to do it on
At
just
like
for
2
fun.
o'clock in the
on
morning, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Facebook.
You know how you can do Facebook on your phone now?
No, I still have to do the Periscope because he won't show
Um,
me how to do the Facebook.
You can't do it on an Android.
That's what I was. Yes. Duh and duh.
No, I'm not dumb. I'm telling her. I can do it on my iPad at home.
We joke because we got Tweedle, Tweedle duh.
kiss my room.
Whatever.
I'll use the restroom quick. We only got a few seconds. I'm not gonna play a song.
Sorry, I have to jet out. I completely
That's all right.
forgot about this doctor's appointment today.
And thanks for coming in. I'm telling you, today was just
Oh,
wild,
yeah.
man. We hit that topic this morning, and I think we
Been
put
wide open.
a fire under our own bodies.
Yeah, because we went a whole hour and a half without taking a commercial break.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Not for
everything.
our sponsors.
Yeah.
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 Because
They probably not happy.
everybody, they wanted to chime in because the topic was drug testing for EBT.
Ah,
And so,
Yeah, so that's a sensitive thing to anybody.
yeah.
yeah.
All right, it was nice meeting you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, Steph. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. See you tomorrow. Have fun at school.
Thanks.
Are you going to school today after?
No, but I have to work on a project due tomorrow.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I still have to do school.
And y'all know I saw that he was friends with you. Brian Crespo, he used to be a co-host on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Show.
yeah,
He
Brian
was,
was here for a while.
he was flying Brian.
It's just he was trying to do so much. So
Mhm.
between having to work to make money and then
Mhm.
juggle this and juggle all the auditions and everything, man, he was just getting burned out.
Yeah.
Burning at both ends. He couldn't keep up because like you guys, y'all were up at what time last night? And then trying to
2:30.
get here.
Yeah.
He
It's
was trying to get here to do 7:30 every morning,
Mhm.
and he was just like coming in going,
And he was
last
drunk.
night was a rough night. So it was,
yeah.
So we all work together as long. We still talk to him here and there, but
Yeah.
honestly, it's just two different worlds. Trying
Yeah.
to do this and trying to do that.
He'll call in every once in a while with his, what is it, husband?
Yeah, he's got a couple of different little voices.
And
that he does.
Redneck Ronnie. And
Yeah. It's
Yeah, it's a trip.
yeah.
when you're trying to do it all, when you're trying to do it and do it on your own, it takes the hours. Yeah. It takes the hours.
Look, man, no joke. I had a rack right where that monitor is. That's why that's opening on that side of the screen. And I thought it was the way I wanted to go with a rack and everything. So everything was centrally located. My problem began is with the rack and everything was one location. There ended up being so many wires, so many everything. I couldn't work on nothing, not one
Mhm.
thing, because I couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I told one of my guys, I said it over the show. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this rack. And one of my buddies that I got the rack from heard me say it. He's like, oh man, I need that back. I'm like, oh, okay, no
All right.
problem. When I'm done.
Right.
Yeah.
After I give it to you, but
Then he hits me up. He's like, man, I need that thing Tuesday morning. I'm like, what? Like I had food poisoning last week. And he's telling me I need it Tuesday morning. I went, I'll get to it Monday.
Yeah.
That's all I could do. So literally Monday after the show, I had to rip it completely out and start over. I'm just like, by 7 p.m., people are like, you're still working? Yeah.
Yeah.
Since 5:30 this morning because
Yeah.
I get up to do this, and then 7 o'clock at night, literally the camera stops mid-table when we don't have a guest. From that way, this way, looked great on camera. Everything that way still was destroyed.
Yeah, like-
Wires
Yeah.
everywhere. Just in.
from here that way yesterday there was nothing but
Yeah, you
cables.
couldn't touch the table.
Yeah.
But it's just never ending.
Yeah,
and I
people-
know I can relate
Yeah.
so much.
People will message us and be like, can you help us? Can you help with the reel, or can you get me that footage yet? You're not done. You're not done, Ed. We've had people 3 days after we wrapped a movie say, do you have like the scenes cut together for my reel yet so I can put it in my actor's reel? I'm like, we just finished the movie.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
literally driving
Calm
home from
down.
location right now. I can't-
Yeah, man, we deal with it every day.
Yeah. And look, he fits right in. You see his shirt?
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
see
yeah.
that. I had a Star Wars birthday. They surprised me, and now I got 3 boxes of Star Wars stuff going. Where am I going to put that? I don't even have a place to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're smart.
It's awesome though. I'm not giving her any of it.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're Star Wars.
All right,
geeks.
just
Oh,
for
yeah,
fun,
I'm
people,
saying.
we are back, and it's still going and going and going, just for fun.
I'm back.
That is like perfect timing.
Yeah.
How did you know? I think she's got you bugged.
Yeah.
Yeah. I followed you.
So let's hear some good stories. I know I've overshadowed a little bit by talking on. I find it cool that I can relate to what these guys are saying because the pressures. I mean, like even on break, we're talking about it. I'm like, golly, honestly, I thought I was the only one that got hit up with so many just I don't want to call them stupid
Stupid.
things,
Yeah.
but it's like really, you do realize you got to realize what it takes to do this, but they don't. So
Yeah.
give us some stories of what it's like working with these guys, and like some oopses. You know, their oopses are always fun.
April.
Yeah, they don't have many oopses unless Chase is not there and he's trying to get somebody else to do the scene. When he's not there, then
Yeah.
it doesn't work out so great. We have to redo, but it was a fantastic experience. I've worked on huge sets. I've worked on independent sets. They just overall, him and Ed were just an amazing team. They're very professional. They can make a awkward situation in a scene like it's nothing, where most people would blow it out of proportion.
You know what she's meaning by those awkward scenes.
I'm assuming y'all don't have a lot of sex scenes, right?
Oh.
Is that where she's going?
I think
Just a
that's-
few. I mean, it is
saying-
horror.
I'm just saying Chase and I have a pretty juicy scene.
Oh,
Very comfortable.
let's talk about it.
See what had happened was
Yeah, it's yeah.
She's still giggling.
he's speechless. Look, he's
All we
like,
keep hearing is
yeah.
yeah.
Look,
Yeah, well,
he's turning red.
Okay,
Look.
try to direct yourself in one of those
Yeah.
scenes and tell people where to put, cameras.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
like, don't get up my butt with that camera. Stay over here. Yeah.
Exactly.
We're covered
The side
up.
is
and-
far sexier anyway.
yeah, you're covered up, but it's like, hey, I know you're down there just talking about what the shot you need to get, but I'm telling you that shot is not, up my butt. So it's over here.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is a movie, not a hemorrhoid commercial. Can
Yes.
you please remove the camera?
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. And then you go
Are you
and you
trying to
watch
scope me? Get out of there.
Yeah.
you watch the footage and the camera before they get set, it's like all shaking and it's pointing right up your butt. And you're
Oh
like,
my God.
Yeah.
Sir, warm your hands.
Moon River. Yeah.
He did the Moon River. We got another guy that does that too. That's freaking hilarious. And he's probably sitting at home giggling right now because he's not here today. He's probably saying Moon River too.
But she's right. You have to make people comfortable in those situations, because if they're not comfortable, it's going to show
Yeah,
up.
very awkward. Right.
Yeah.
And I see some of the sex scenes in movies and stuff, and you have to think, how many times did they go, all right, take 37,
Yeah.
because it's like, especially if you develop a friendship with a person
Yeah.
and you now got to make out with a person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is that roast beef on your breath? I
We
mean,
nailed it the first one, just so you know.
What's that? What did you say?
I said we nailed it the first take.
Yeah, we
nailed it. Huh?
Yeah, we,
Yeah.
nice
He
choice of
phrased
words.
it.
Yeah. We
So now is it a reality show? I mean,
it's
No.
I always tell people there's nothing, like when you get into them, there's nothing sexy about filming sex scenes, because it just becomes
No, there's not.
yeah. See, it's you just
It's weird and awkward.
it's funny. I mean, her and I, the hardest time we had was to stop laughing.
yes,
You
that's
know,
what I'm
yeah,
getting at.
yeah.
Is you're friends with these people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're just cracking up, and it's like, I think the first take, I call action and I look down at her and I just start cracking up laughing, and you're just like, this is ridiculous, but you got to do it and make it look good,
Yes. Oh, I can only imagine.
because the people out there watching it, they don't want to see you not taking it seriously. You'll ruin
Right.
you
And
know,
then as
everything.
the director, as well as the guy in the scene, you're kind of like, we got to get this right, man.
yeah,
We can't just we can't do another 37 takes. We got to get this right.
right, and
Exactly. It's already awkward enough. So.
yeah, you're in
The
these
great thing about Chase, what they do, which I appreciate, is if the scene does not need nudity or a sex scene in it to push the story along, he takes it out. Like
Oh,
he
thank
even took out
God.
one of my
Yeah.
scenes when
Yeah.
I had supposed to have bra and underwear in a scene, and he seemed that it wasn't necessary. So then I was in shorts and a shirt. So he takes it out if it is not necessary
Well-
to push the movie along, and he is wonderful about doing that. And he took a lot out of the script.
well,
Just
sometimes
because he didn't need it. It's all about pushing the story for him and being creative.
right. Well,
it's not about
sometimes the things
Showing
look
girls naked or sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes things make sense when you write them, and then when you get out there and you start filming them and you realize, okay, I'm going to cut from this to this, And now there's not going to be any time delay,
Right.
you know, between the two things. It's not like she could have closed this scene and then,
And
you know,
not.
have no close,
Right.
you know, or whatever. Or they just walked out here in the woods and started kissing. And then we cut over here and show somebody walking towards them. They can't already be on the ground with no clothes. And it's like, okay, so I'm pulling that out.
Right.
Because it makes no sense.
You're right, because me and my wife were sitting on the couch the other day watching something, and geez, I wish I could remember the movie, because y'all would probably say the same thing. But all of a sudden, there's a sex scene. I looked at my wife and I'm like, "This is an action movie. There didn't need to be a sex. Like, why?
Yeah.
Somebody's trying to get killed here, and they have time for that?
Right.
I mean, how does that make sense? So
Yeah, if it
You know?
doesn't make sense, then it'll come out, you know, and that's what I tell people. It, you know, and usually we always make them sound way worse than it is. Like you tell an actress, like, look, or an actor, like, look, we got this scene, and you're gonna have to do this,
Right.
and this, and you prepare them for the
prepare 'em.
worst,
Yes.
and then they get there and they're like, oh, that was it,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like,
But
well,
it's easier to do
And
that
I-
than shock
I
them.
did that
Yeah.
exact thing.
yep, you
Yeah.
did,
I did that exact thing. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is nothing. That's not so bad.
Right.
yeah, but on the page,
But
like
yes, he always sets them up for the worst scenario.
Yeah, but that's good though.
That
If
way
you're
you can
if you're not
feel-
prepared, the shock
Yeah.
later could actually, because for instance, say you have a female such as herself, and on script it reads real simple,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, even if you didn't have it prepared and you decide to change it, you now look at her and go, okay, yes, we've already been filming for 3 weeks, but now I need you to do this, and she's like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
yeah, that could
So
be a
then
problem.
what? You now have a big problem. So I guess it is easier
Exactly.
in your business. That's smarter.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
it's easier to
Yeah.
you know, go that way than to say, oh, well, on the page it just said they're lying in the bed kissing.
Right.
And then when you get there, they're like, oh yeah, but we're supposed to be naked doing
That's
that.
right.
You know, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. You
Yeah,
know, wait
yeah.
a second. You know,
Yeah,
it's-
exactly. I might flip out on that one. Yeah.
and we would never do that. It's much
If I didn't know.
it's much better
Yeah.
to say, you know, it's going to be this, like there's going to be two people and you're going to have to get naked to get the
Mm-hmm.
shot and whatever else. And they're like, oh God. And then they get there and it's like, oh, well, you can keep that on. We're going to be under the cover.
You'd be
like,
right.
oh, well, that's it.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, you couldn't see anything in our scene anyway because it's just from the side, which was so tasteful,
Right.
but yet alluring at the same time. So
Well, you know, you're also in this movie, you're making it's sort of like a drama thriller. It's not a straight up like horror
Yeah.
slasher. So you're not, you know, they're not kind of going for some of those things that you normally see, you know, in like your Friday the 13th movies, where I always go back to the Friday the 13th remake by Michael Bay a few years ago. I like the movie, but there's a scene where the girl is out by a campfire and she's messing with a guy while he's talking to somebody else, and she's just oiling up her, you know, her breasts
Yes.
with baby oil for like 5 minutes. Like, come on.
Okay, 30 seconds would have been plenty.
Right.
7 seconds is probably
Yeah.
all you needed. You know, because I think back like some of the movies in that manner of like of the Friday the 13th. I could see, just saying it this way, say you do the scene, it's supposed to be a bunch of late teens partying. You got two people making out in the cabin. I could see if the
Right.
scene showed real fast, they're naked, he busts through the door and kills them.
Right.
But we don't need to see semi-porn
Right.
before he comes in. Wasn't the movie about a murderer? It's not about the sex.
Right.
And that's what drives me nuts when some of these people use things to kind of trigger your emotions, to hang you on.
Right.
Like, I needed 7 more minutes to see that. She's hot, but I can look at her on the internet. I don't have to watch this in a movie.
Right. You have to, you know,
yeah,
horror movies a lot of times are morality tales. So like, you know, somebody has sex, they drink, they do,
Right.
you know, whatever, they're irresponsible, they get killed.
Or the white girl tries to run
Right,
and falls,
and she falls.
on everything that she could possibly fall on.
You know,
blonde,
the movie that
blonde bimbo run.
yes, the blonde bimbo run.
Yeah.
The movie we did before this
I
one,
didn't do any of those.
no, she
Good.
didn't. She was a
Good.
strong character. The movie we did before this, Creature Feature, we purposely did it as like a throwback to those like early 80s style like comic book movies like Creep Show
Right.
or whatever, with like practical monsters, you know, and stuff like
Yeah.
that would look real good. And we totally went back to that. Like there's the babysitter that's irresponsible and she's, you know, the parents leave and they say, don't give the kids this, don't give the kids that,
Mhm.
don't have your boyfriend here. So the minute they leave, of course, she immediately
Of
does all
course.
those things,
Yeah.
you know, and the minute she does all those things and she starts to have sex with her boyfriend, you know, and she's not paying attention to the kids, you know, she's going to
Something
get it.
happens.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
That's where the stupid comes in.
right. So, but you also, you know, that scene, she has a sex scene in there. They start to get into the scene. It cuts into, we have these very cool, like comic book transitions because the movie's supposed to be like an actual comic book. And, you know, they start to go at it and it goes into a comic book and you see some pictures in panels, like comic book panels. And then it comes back out and they're done. You don't have to show, you know, you get the point across.
That's right.
Yeah.
And plus, you're making people use their imagination at that point.
Right.
You know, and sometimes that's better. You know, we used to, we're not censored by the FCC, so we used to cuss a lot. And but we couldn't grow to do what we need to do. A whole different story. But a lot of people say, you know what I find funnier is the fact, like, I know where you're going, but I hear you do word substitutes, and we actually laugh more than if you would have actually cussed.
Yeah.
So then it's like, I'm starting to get it now. You're making you're making the people's imagination kick in, and that's what they're there for.
Right.
When I watch a movie, I want to be sucked into the illusion of what's happening. I don't want to know the behind the scenes stuff. I want to be trapped in the story.
Right.
Me too.
Yeah, and it always, it depends on the situation. This movie that we're about to do that I wrote, it starts off and this girl is running down the street and she's beaten and bloody and she has a huge gun in her hand and she bursts into this house screaming for help. It's like a sorority house. They're having this party and she's trying to get help. And she is going nuts. Like 1 minute she's crying and broke down because like you find out that the 5 people she was with are all dead. The audience doesn't know if she killed them or the monster thing.
Awesome.
You know, the monster thing that she's saying happened, like actually killed them. And she's holding these people at gunpoint because the cops are looking for her. She's running from the cops, and it's, you know, she's not going to say golly gee willikers, you know, in those situations. So it depends, you know, on the situation too. But yeah, you don't, you know, if you do it too much or whatever, it loses impact. It loses its shock value. It loses the purpose.
Yeah. Hook them and keep them hooked.
Right.
I mean, because you want them to make it to the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, do you
Unlike the new Star Wars, where they imply you're going to be surprised when you find out who the guy under the mask is, and then mid through the movie, I'm like, I already know who the dude behind the mask is, and he hasn't even taken the mask off. Oh my God, he just took the mask off. Why didn't he keep the mask on? Sorry, that was my gripe from Star Wars.
Yes, that was your gripe. Although I haven't seen it yet.
Not my fault. Did you see it? Of course.
Oh yeah.
How did you feel? How did you feel about the whole mask thing?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was obvious who he was going to be. So, like, yeah, they just kind of drag. I feel like they did that a lot with some of the mysteries in the movie.
Yeah.
You kind of know where it's going, but they just kind of keep, you know, acting like there's going to be a big reveal.
That's right. Keep painting me a picture. Keep
Yeah.
painting me a picture so I'm not surprised. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, so we already know who's under the mask. Please tell me he's like ugly under the mask. Like his face has already been sliced up. He has one eye. He looks like Terminator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where half the face is missing. Oh, you look normal.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
What? I mean, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but sorry. I didn't mean to go down the Star Wars trail, but that was just a good example of, okay, you lead me to think something, and then instead of keeping me hooked until the end of the movie or even to the next movie, you spoiled it. You let me see something that you should have not let me see.
Right.
You know?
And I was just going to ask, so is all of your movies that you write, are they all horror type?
All of them have been like horror or horror thriller, except for one film that we did, Buried Cane, which was like a Southern drama, like about a small town. These all people that knew each other and grew up together. Yeah. And they, you know, everybody, you know, it was a little small, dirty town. Everybody knew everybody's secrets and that type of thing. And, you know, all that stuff comes back around on people. So
we need to watch a lot of these. Like I said, I'm sorry I haven't caught up with all this. I've just been busy, and that's not a good excuse or nothing. But yeah, man, these sound right up our alley.
Yeah, it's that one. That one was a straight up drama, and I gotta say, dramas are not fun to film.
No.
They are not fun because every word matters. Every angsty glance, you know, all that stuff. It's
all in the wording.
Yeah,
that's the thing I tell people. It's all in the wording.
It's not like a horror movie where, you know, they go forgive a little bit of bad acting or somebody, you know, because you're building to this big action sequence or whatever. You know, when it's a drama, you got to catch everybody's little hurt feeling look, you know, and all that.
I bet
stuff.
your editing on a drama is murder.
Yeah.
Literally.
It was the worst edit thing that we've had to do. Other than Creature Feature had a lot of
digital
effects for the comic book that we created, the Creature Feature comic book, and put going in and out of it with the video and stuff like that. But as far as just editing to get the feel,
that's what I was gonna say. With the drama, you got to have the voices perfect, the feel, the camera angle, the sad look. I mean, golly.
Yeah, it's
and again for all the listeners, you don't realize that the recording of sound and voices is not exactly being recorded with, I mean, it's a separate recording,
right?
And you're having to match it all.
Yep, it's a whole separate recording, and if you don't have a good sound guy, and okay, to a lot of the sound guys out there, I'm gonna make you very angry when I say this, but if you're recording on a boom pole, we've got this expensive mic, this great rig, this great recorder, everything else. Hey man, just point it at their mouth and hit record. It ain't rocket science. Just hold it still, hit record, and you're gonna be okay. Just
so funny.
It's like, oh well, let me. You get people that think they know too much and they're trying to mess with levels, and then you get in the post and you hear in people's voices going up and down, and it's like, oh my god, I'd like to stab you with a spork.
And then my people, just average, say, why do we have to wear headphones? I said, because I need you to hear what you sound like.
Right.
Because what you hear yourself sounding like is what they have to hear. And then when you turn your head away from the mic and you notice you can't hear yourself talking anymore, oh, surprise, they can't hear you either.
Right.
And I've had to explain to, especially if I go somewhere and it's live and somebody says, can I speak on the mic? And I give the mic to whoever the president of the company is or whatever. They hold it at the center of their chest. Now the mic's more under their chin than in front of their mouth.
Yep.
And I have to look at people and go, treat it like an ice cream cone.
Yep.
And if they're a hooker, I say treat it like something else.
Yeah.
But the problem is nobody gets it. It's like, the mic is supposed to be getting your voice. So you need to put it up to your mouth, in front of your mouth, not behind, not on the side of your cheek. Yeah.
I know.
Like I said, y'all's patience is a whole lot better
I'm
than mine.
amazed sometimes. It's like, look, just point the mic at their mouths and hit record.
The one that gets me is when we'll have boom operators who don't want to hold it right. They try to flex to look cool for the people.
Oh my god!
And so
you're not on camera.
No,
they're on camera.
And then in post, you hear all this shaking, this clicking that you got to take out. Click, click, because they were trying to, flex their muscles up, and it was causing their arms to shake. And it's like, just rest it across your back.
That's right.
Your shoulders, point it at their mouth, and hit record.
Oh yeah.
It's thus endeth the lesson.
Yeah, this little Rode microphone I just got for my quick videos has a little shock absorber on it. And the cool thing is I even noticed as I was moving and it was bouncing, you couldn't hear it. So I was like, whew, thank God. Because I would be my own worst critic. I'd be the one going, God, the dumbass with the microphone. Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
But I
it
get
happens.
the blame.
No, only when you used to touch stuff. My grandfather had passed away, and I handed her this brand new monopod and said, here's how to film everything I need you to film for the funeral. My grandfather was a vet. We had the bikes, the flags, everything. Right. And the monopod was probably 30 some odd days old. I keep using the word was.
Right? Yeah. Picked up on that.
Yeah.
And this little plastic flip that lets you take the camera on and off. Like she rednecked it. Like she pushed until it snapped. And I'm like, Stephanie, if it's plastic, if it starts to not want to move, you stop pushing on it.
Yep.
So, and that raises another question. So y'all own all your own gear, and then therefore you also have to put trust in telling people to please be careful with my gear. Because if it breaks, you got to buy new.
How many boom poles have we gone through?
At least 2.
People because they're telescopic, and people over crank them down.
Yes.
Tighten it. And they over tighten it and strip it out. And I'm like, okay, thanks. That's $350. I appreciate it.
Wow.
I have a $800 cordless mic, and literally the sleeve, it's just a sleeve. It just unscrews and slides off. You put the batteries in, you put this little sleeve back on. I've watched somebody go and tighten the sleeve until the sleeve popped. And I'm like, it's just a sleeve.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was not me.
Microphone battery opening. Like, it's not the bolt that holds your bike together.
Right.
What is wrong with you?
Some of these people, I just shake my head.
It's funny.
Sometimes because
I can so relate to all these stories.
It's like, hey, I didn't even actually go to film school. He did it, but it's like, I didn't even actually go to film school, and I'm pretty sure I know. Just point the microphone at
Right.
somebody's mouth. You know, don't drop a camera lens on the ground.
That's right.
These are simple things, you know, but apparently I'm going to have to tell you anyway.
That is hilarious.
So all of the stuff that you know is pretty much you learned by trial and error.
Yeah, I did, you know, I had some because I got a master's degree in fine arts, but that was all for writing. You know, I had like one class where they did anything where I put my hands on any equipment. Everything else was just because I watch movies and I figured, you know, I tell people, watch movies. You want to know how to make movies and make a movie look like a movie? Watch a movie. And watch the special features and see where they're placing cameras and see what they're doing. And, you know, you can either learn to do that because you have the talent to do it or you just can't, you know, and that's, I'm I hadn't used Adobe Premiere is what we used to edit with, and After Effects and Adobe Audition for the sound. I've never done sound editing in my life until I started doing movies. And it's like, well, I don't have the money to pay anybody else to do it. I better figure out how.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I same thing here. I mean, I've got a buddy that's been helping me for years. That's the phone call guy. Oh my God, what do I do? And he tells me how to try to fix something. And you know, it's kind of like you've been to school, you hadn't. His lingo of real definitions is not what you would know.
Right.
So my buddy's over the phone going, push this and do this. And I'm going, that's Spanish, dude. You need to talk English. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Tell me
You
what
know,
it
I'm
looks like.
completely self-taught. But again, that goes back to whether you have talent or don't have talent. I'm not trying to knock anybody, but you know, it's great. Like me, I just wasn't able to go to school. I'm dyslexic, which caused a bunch of problems. So going to school to do broadcasting was not in my cards.
Right.
It's really great that it's worked so good. But yeah, the whole self-taught thing, and you have to just keep trial and error until you learn 100%.
Well, and we tell everybody that all the time too. Like our last movie is going to look better than our first movie.
Of course.
You know, every time, you know, in any director, doesn't matter if they had mega budgets, their first movies are, you know, a lot of times not going to look as good.
Yeah.
Tarantino did Reservoir Dogs and it's a great movie, but like visually and a lot of things, it ain't Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know?
I've made that. And I actually watched Pulp Fiction before Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Like
think I've
a
ever
couple
seen
of
Reservoir.
years of a difference. And then everybody says, man, you got to see this. You got to see this. I was kind of shocked. Like, I'm like, okay, I guess he chose to film it to make it look old like that. Apparently not, you know?
They had, well, you know, that was a movie he was planning to try to make for 30 grand or something until they got Harvey Keitel on board, and then he got him a little bit more money. And then he was, you know, Tarantino was like, I still want to shoot it to look like this.
Right.
You know, and it's like, okay, well, why? You got more money, you can do a little bit more.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just happened to see it and kind of shake my head. But I guess because I'm a little more open to try to always see it a little differently. You know what I mean? I always want to try to have a little bigger perspective and see it a different way instead of always just. I tell people all the time, there's so many people walking around with that whole like 15% vision.
Right.
And I'm like, you do know what peripheral vision is. You really need to start learning how to use it.
It's like, you know, April has a different perspective because she was, you know, when she was acting her first go around, she was in bigger films like what were they? What was the films? April, are you there still?
Oh, I was on Aaron Stone TV series, Savannah, and I did Raw Justice with David Keith and Pamela Anderson, David Keith, Robert Hayes.
Yeah.
But my favorite set is still yours, Chase.
There you go.
Sorry.
And boy, the payment just went up again. But
I'm thinking your budget for today is just incredible.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, you know, stop by.
So now she's getting glazed donuts instead of just regular donuts.
Glazed donuts and
Extra powder for her,
I know.
please.
Actually, I'm headed to the gym. I can't eat donuts right now. I got to get ready for our movie.
That's right. Yeah, she's gonna be in our next movie too. So she, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was just fixing to ask. How many movies has she done with you?
Just the one, just one so far, and she was in the music video that
And
we
the
just
music
shot.
video.
And she's going to be in this one. You know, we when we find good people, we like to use them again, but at the same time, you know, you're sending the movies to the same distributor, so there becomes like an end point where like, okay, guys, we've used you, you know, in parts in 3 different movies.
Yeah.
You know, you need to set the next one we're doing out because people don't want to just see all the same people. Now, if you're a beautiful actress, that's a lot better than a character actor dude.
Right.
You know, you can get away with.
Yeah, because I'm laughing, and there's no lie. I just watched the new movie called Colony, and this dude that walks in, that's kind of like the hard ass military dude. I'm looking at his face, going, "Oh my God!" And my wife's like, "What?" I'm like, that's the drug dealer from CSI Miami. That's the drug dealer from this show. And I'm like naming off like 8 shows he's been a drug dealer on. And my wife goes, so why are you saying, oh my God? I'm like, he plays a great lawful citizen. I mean, he was typecast as a drug dealer, like a cartel drug dealer in so many friggin' CSIs and so many different other movies and TV shows. And then all of a sudden he's playing some sergeant something. So I'm thinking, wow, but again, some of us pay that much attention. You know?
And you see people like Adam Sandler. He, obviously a lot of his movies, he uses same people over and over.
Yeah.
Tarantino uses Samuel L. Jackson's like in almost everything Tarantino does. He'll but people aren't going to complain about that because
good reason.
It's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I just watched started some other new one that it's him and Kurt Russell. The 8 whatever.
The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, man, I started watching that the other night and hadn't finished it, and I'm just shaking my head because I'm just like, this dude will play anything, and he can. It's not that he will, he can. He can play anything.
Yeah, so if you find good actors like that, you definitely want to use them again. But if you've got guy that was like you were talking about, that was character actor, this side actor, and he just keeps showing up in that same role, it's like, okay, let me get some new blood.
Yeah, because Sandler's, it's so funny watching each movie, each person being something different. And it is funny because they're funny movies, but in something that's not a comedy, like yours.
Right.
Yours a thriller horror. God, let me get out of my mouth. It wouldn't be comically funny to keep seeing the same guy going, isn't this the same dude that was killed 2 films ago?
Right. Right. And it's like, hey, we catch a lot of grief, actors like, did I do something wrong? Are you mad at me or whatever? And I'm like, well, no, you've been in 2 straight projects.
That's right. I need you to gain 60 pounds and don't shave.
Right.
Oh, you don't want to do that? Yeah, I need that character today. Sorry.
Like, you're 40 years old. I'm casting a 21-year-old frat boy. This one's not going to work for you this time.
Yeah, you're filming another version of Neighbors, but you're not the frat guy this time. You're the guy.
Right.
Yeah, and if you ever need a crazy DJ.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I think we found one.
Well,
if
they do a movie called Inbred Fred, you are the star. Well, you and your cousin, Fred, of course.
God, one time you kiss a cousin and he never lets you live it down.
You kissed him more than once.
No, well, twice. Okay.
I see. I think you've earned that. I think you've earned that grief.
Ask, just quickly look him in his face and tell them how you found out it was your cousin.
At the family reunion.
Oh!
And people ask if this show's rehearsed. I'm like, you can't write stupid.
At least it didn't go any further than that because that'd been really
exactly.
She has admitted some second base action.
No.
But as the years of the show has gone by, she said that's not true. But
no, it's not true.
Heavy petting is second base.
It's not really good to keep it all in the family like this. just throwing that out.
Yeah, spread the love. There's Alabama. More cousins.
And we're not from Alabama either.
I'm gonna say you are.
My husband is.
The people from Alabama are ashamed of her for what she's done.
Oh man.
Geez, you'd think they'd like me riding a mattress.
And so back to that movie. Yeah, if you ever have one of them, like, Squeal Like a Pig kind of movies.
No.
Stephanie and some of her people will. You wouldn't even really take much of an audition. You
just throw them in there.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
We just hit this lull for a second.
Yeah.
No, this is Redneck Staff, man.
Yeah.
When we first was coming up with little names to name everybody, she said, I'm gonna be the redneck. I was like, honey, that won't be a problem.
I mean, you're kissing your cousin, you're breaking equipment, you're having a,
Yeah, riding mattresses through the mud holes. I had a helmet on though.
That's good.
It was attached to a 4-wheeler and I was being drugged through the mud holes.
By all means, keep the helmet on.
She posted a picture one day of them shooting this 12 gauge on Facebook.
No, that was a video.
Yeah, because that changes the story. So I send her a message to go, Steph, you need to get that off of Facebook. She's like, why? I said, because you're shooting the gun illegally. Well, we're in the woods. I'm like, behind a house. You're supposed to be like 300 yards from a residential area. She's like, well, we're in the woods, but you're in a subdivision, dumbass. Take the video down because
The woman getting buckshot coming through her bathroom door, she's not appreciating the fact you're in the woods.
Yeah.
It's all in the perspective. I'm learning today just to use that word. It's all in the perspective.
Yep.
Yes.
But we're in the woods. Just because you ride four-wheelers in the dude's backyard doesn't mean it's called woods. Just because there's more than 4 trees, don't make it the woods.
No, this was
I'm
3
sure
acres
it
of
does.
woods.
Oh my gosh.
No. Okay, so we're gonna get the other female in here to chime in.
So how many times have you been on video shooting 12-gauge shotguns in the backyard?
April?
Oh, how about this one? How many cousins have you made up with?
Muzzleloader.
She prefers muzzle loaders. Yeah, Stephanie needs a muzzle. She's always loaded.
Ah,
Yeah, baby.
Well, look, we've went over. We're going to try to wrap this puppy up. So you say you got to get to the gym, and I got another guy that was wanting to call in too. So thanks for
Yeah.
calling in to us, and good luck with the gym.
Thanks. My pleasure. Have a great day.
Talk to
All
you. Talk to
Bye,
you later.
gang.
Bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
calling in.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. So one of my guys now, he's probably going to try to call in, but he was saying, do they need drones to film anything in their movies? So that's always that kind of thing. So Mike, we will make sure y'all pass information between each other so that if that's Mike's got this really cool drone. So I'll that way it's not any pressure. That's y'all two communicating at that point.
Yeah.
Aerial shots that you can get with those, they can look really good sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah.
But he does not want that drone up near his butt. Remember, we just had that
Yeah.
just for fun radio. Hello.
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 Hi, how you doing?
You are on the air.
How you doing?
Well, hurry and speak so we can hear you.
yeah. Get that phone close to your face.
So go for it,
Send
sir.
a picture of me so they know what I look like.
So go ahead. You're live.
Hey, the reason I was calling was the new drones. I don't know if they use drones in their filming, but the new drones have a 4K camera. How does that apply to what they're doing? Does it make editing simpler, or is it more complex?
Well, we've never actually used a drone yet, because a lot of times the simple rule of a horror movie is you want to keep things tight and claustrophobic, and if you do real wide sweeping shots, it makes the audience feel more comfortable, like they've escaped. It's like one of those subliminal things. But those cameras like that, if you want one of those shots, that makes things a whole lot easier, because your other option before that was, let's go rent a helicopter and have somebody fly you over. So
no doubt,
that's definitely
and
easier.
being a former military helicopter pilot, I can tell you it's probably cheaper with a drone.
Yeah. And now that they have like the 4K cameras on them, I mean, you cannot get better quality than 4K.
That's right.
So
Okay, cool. I've got one. I've got a DCI Phantom 3 Professional with the 4K camera. So on y'all's next project, if you just want to take a look at something, let's give it a shot. I think it'd be fun, and we could get the station involved. It'd be pretty cool. Get Tech Talk involved.
Yeah, that's something. Definitely, I'll pass out some information between each other at the end of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. You can always find us on you can find us on Facebook, Spirit World Productions. So you can hit us up there too, message us there, and
sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the only other comment I got to make real quick is I'm a big Tarantino fan, and you guys don't know this. My name is Michael Madsen.
That's your name?
Yeah, that's his real name.
I was in War Games. I was in this isn't a Tarantino film, but I was in Reservoir Dogs. I was in Kill Bill, and I was in the latest movie
Hater.
And he's in some videotapes that some of the counties got called Stalker.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We're gonna wrap this puppy up. Thanks for calling in.
All right, see you.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
I got this new app for getting us internet calls, but the problem is it lags like a second longer than a normal phone call. So when you go to speak, like we sit here sometimes and we're waiting, and it seems like some calls take a little longer for them to either for them to hear us or for them to talk back. So we've caught ourselves actually sometimes hearing dead air. And number one rule in radio, no dead air. So we'll start to say something to fill in the gap at the same time they go to talk. And then by the time they hear it come back to them, it's just such a cluster.
Yeah. I mean, 1 second off with sound can get you.
Right. I bet y'all see that more than anything.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
at least with me, any of my video that I do, it's sound and video is together. And I've
Right.
always found it very amazing when you're watching a movie and people don't realize that each scene is a total tear down the set and rebuild it somewhere
Yep.
else. So when somebody will go, hey, did you notice his lips didn't match the words a little bit? Well, do you not realize what it took to even get it that close?
Yeah.
And that's, again, y'all's patience level is amazing because I would get so aggravated.
I would tell people if you really want to watch audio be off, what you do in films is watch when they do what's called an OTS, an over the shoulder, where two people are having a conversation and not the person that the camera's focused on, but the other person, you will oftentimes see their mouth moving or not moving, when the audio is going,
right.
because, the rule is the person that's on the camera is the most important. The other person can be off a little bit as long as you have the best take on the other person.
Right.
But a lot of
Yeah,
times
because I guess I'm actually, as a watcher, would be staring at the main and not paying attention.
Right.
To that makes sense.
But for us, we start to watch it and it's like, can you get away with that? Because, they're saying this line and you can tell his jaw doesn't start moving to speak for like a second and a half.
Mhm.
But the camera's not on him, it's on her. So, we can get away. And that happens. That's everywhere. It doesn't matter if you have $300 million to make a movie, because it's whose performance is on cameras matters the most.
Oh yeah. And see, I guess because I look for that, I like to find it. I guess like I was watching this TV show called Dr. Ken, and the guy like unbuttons his top button and he thinks he's being sexy talking to his wife on the kitchen little island, and then the camera shoots from him to her. And of course, that's all in editing because it's two different cameras. But a lot of people don't realize it's two different cameras. So in editing, so they make it look like as you're watching it, it goes from him to her and then back to him, and you notice that the button's one button lower, but you don't really think about it. Then the camera goes to her, back to him. It's back where it was, and then the camera shoots back to a third camera that's showing the whole room. And when he jumps off the island, it's like unbuttoned down to his belly button. And I'm like, am I the only idiot that just noticed the shirt? But you're so busy looking at his mouth as he's talking. So
somebody's continuity supervisor failed on that one.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing, it does happen a lot. It does happen a lot. And it's like, is it consequential enough for you to reshoot it? And
right.
It's like,
who's going to catch it?
Right. It's like, well, their performances were good. The shots are good. It edits well. Oh, well.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to sound like a critic. I actually get a kick out of doing that and finding it because I'm going to catch this. Hang on one second, just for fun.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah. What's happening, brother?
Hey, man. Hey, Chase. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm Alex. I host Tech Talk on Tuesday nights on Just for Fun Radio. And I just want to throw an invitation out there for you. You're welcome anytime. I made a feature-length movie once, and it was the worst damn experience of my life. So I got a lot of respect for it.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Of course, I knew nothing about it. It was my wife that wanted to make the film, and we put up the money and hired all the people, bought all the equipment, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
For someone that didn't, just getting into it, didn't know what they were doing, it was a lot.
Yeah. The joke is always that I had a full head of hair 4.5 years ago when we started filming, when we started making movies, and now not so much.
Yeah. Why do I relate to that too? The stress.
And why
dude.
you look at me when you say that?
You're my co-host. I was just looking left. Guilty much?
Yeah, guilty conscience. But yeah, we'd love to come in and talk sometime.
Definitely.
Excellent. All right. Well, I guess I'll get with Stephanie and we'll try to work that out. And I use Google Hangouts on my show, so you can even come in through the Hangout if you didn't want to drive all the way over.
Oh yeah, y'all could actually be at home or wherever you're doing your editing and just go live for a second, just give people some behind the scenes look too.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Well, Steph, I'll make sure Stephanie takes all the information and shoots it through our fun page, little messaging service, so that all of us have the information as well.
Yeah, because I think it would be neat.
All right, brilliant.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in.
All right, appreciate it. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Hey, before I wanted to cover something real quick because the phone call kind of caught it. But we were talking about little things. Like I just watched the movie with Ricky Schroeder with the whole Dolly Parton movie.
Oh yeah.
And they filmed it in Covington. And what's funny is they walk out of this hardware looking store, or I forget what the store was, like a little old timey food store, whatever. But as they walk out, what you don't realize is while the camera's facing them two, directly over the shoulder of Jennifer is the barbershop where I used to get my hair cut, and you see an air conditioning unit hanging out of the wall. And I'm thinking this is supposed to be like 1930 or something.
Yeah.
And here's this, or 1950 or 40 or whatever, but there's a window unit air condition that's mounted like 9 feet off the ground, sticking out of the backside of this little bitty barbershop. But the problem is it's over her right shoulder. So the whole time that the face to face are looking at each other talking, you're seeing behind her ear an air conditioner. And I'm just like, somebody probably should have put like the old timey Coca-Cola sign or something there.
Yeah.
Something should have covered it, but nobody noticed it. And me, I'm laughing, and my wife's like, "You get a kick out of this." I'm like, "Yeah, this is kind of cool because nobody else notices."
We had to be so careful with that on Dark Roads because it's set in 1979.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful, like, you know, even like our footage of going through downtown Atlanta, you know, stuff like that. We can only do that at night because, you know, you can't show modern cars.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
We watched a TV show. It was supposed to be the 80s cops.
Mm-hmm.
So here you see like the 1984 LTD 4-door cop car, their version of the Crown Vic, whatever. And as it's coming down the road, all of a sudden, like you saw the new version of the Impala with the real slick curved roof and trunk. And I'm like, yeah, that was a goof.
Yeah.
That was a goof.
Well, part of the way we got around that is we went up to those really old cabins. You know, none of those cabins, for most of the movie, we were at these cabins, and none of them are, you know, any young. Well, they're all
So
at least
no
150.
modernized.
Yeah, they're all 150 years old or 100, you know, plus years old. So it's like, well, that takes one big thing out of it. Now we just got to have 70s clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, which is
Good luck there too. But you'll find somebody's closet because everybody's got stuff.
Oh yeah. That wasn't too terribly hard.
Yeah.
You know, we went downtown. We took everybody downtown shopping, which at some of those
Go to
Retro
Jumpman's
Shore.
Daughter and all those kind of stores, man. You can find all that stuff.
Yeah, that's where we went, and that we recorded that for fun. That's going to be an
So
extra feature.
here's what I need to do. How many 70s movies do you do? Because like my grandfather just passed away. Tons of clothes. I'm fixing to clean out Sunday. I'll give you a call because like his whole house looks like a museum. Like we were in the attic and I was going, God, I've not seen this clock since like 75. Why does he still own it? It was over the fish tank for 10 years, you know?
Yeah, an 8-track.
Yeah, man. We
players
found
and-
tons of 8-track stereos.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like the old twist where you twist to get it up and down the dial.
yeah.
I mean, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
funny.
after we did that one, we were like, let's not do that again.
Yeah, because people don't think of what it takes to do it. Like
Yeah.
everybody just watches the movie, but they don't realize you got somebody that's having to go find all the props.
Yeah. Like our,
You know, I need a telephone, a rotary phone.
Right.
Well, where are you going to get it?
right,
Just because you think you saw one at the thrift store the other day doesn't mean it's still there.
right.
You know, people don't get it. They don't know what it takes.
And it takes a long time to sit there and try to find everything you need on eBay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God, can you imagine the cost? Oh, well, you should. You do this for a living. So
Yeah. Yeah. So you just minimize things. You just have to, you know, only put your money into what's actually going to be seen on camera.
Right.
You know, that's one thing I tell a lot of these indie filmmakers around here. They're like, oh, I had $40,000 and I was just trying to shoot like this 40-minute short film and we ran out of money. I'm like, dude, we've made whole movies for 20 grand.
Right.
Oh,
So
wow.
only put the money on camera. Like, where'd you spend your money? Well, it was $4,000 for catering and we rented a whole grip truck. So that
peanut butter and jelly that day, baby.
That was,
I mean,
that was $3,500 for a grip truck. I was like, you know, that you can buy a couple of, you know, 4 C stands for like $400, right? You know,
minimize.
You know, only what you need.
Yeah.
That's just like I made the joke about where y'all were sitting 2 days ago. It wasn't on camera. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I mean, you know, and I've just got a little crappy webcam. If it ain't on camera, it didn't matter to me. I just
No.
try to make sure there's no junk sitting right here that can be seen. Like I've got a floor full of crap back here and you can't see it.
Yeah, it's you only put the money to where
I don't sound
it's
so
gonna be
crazy
seen.
now, do I?
No,
I mean, you're hearing it
back-
firsthand now.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
people are like, how's your movies look like such a big budget? I know how much money you have. Well, first of all, like we said, we do all that stuff that saves money,
Right.
you know, but then at the same time, it's like, okay, put the money into the costumes, into the locations,
Right.
the stuff that people are going to see. People can eat, you know, we had barbecue, we grilled out, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that when we're filming. You didn't have to have catering
That's right.
Yeah.
there, you know, okay, $6,000 for catering, or do we take $6,000, put it into locations and costumes and, you know, effects?
Yeah.
What's going to pay off for
That's
you
right.
better in the
That's
end?
right. Well, look, I hate to wrap us up, man, but we got to get moving.
Well,
So tell everybody how to find everything and anything to reach you guys, to find any of your movies, anything to plug.
Well, right now you can find any of our trailers if you go on to YouTube. Films are Creature Feature, Buried Cane, Perdition, Realm of Souls, Dark Road 79. If you search Spirit World Films or Spirit World Productions or Chase Smith, you'll find them. You can find us on Facebook at Spirit World Productions and on Twitter at Spirit World Film. And yeah, right now, take a look, because we're also, you know, we've got a casting call out right now for our next movie. So, you know, never know. Maybe you work with us somehow.
Steph, if they do Attack of the Killer Oompa Loompas, they got you.
Yeah.
They got you,
with
baby.
my T-Rex arms.
They got you. You could be
Yeah.
the star.
The CeeLo Green arms.
That's
Is that what you're
right.
saying?
Or if
The
they got
T-Rex.
like, if they got like the drunk Weeble Wobble scene, you know.
Hey, yeah, I kept falling at Kid Rock. I would just be standing there and I would fall.
Medically induced, of course.
Medically induced,
Yeah.
of course.
All right. Well, we
Self-med.
got to wrap this thing up, man. I appreciate you guys
No,
coming in. And
prescribed.
Let's,
Absolutely. Thanks for having
make
us.
sure that we, make sure that we have all the contact information.
Yes.
And I'd love to just, even if anything with y'all's huge network of people and our huge network of people, it would just be great to cross promote stuff and help get
Absolutely.
more of your stuff out there
And
too.
if at all possible, one day, maybe after the show, come out and see y'all filming. If
Yeah,
it's-
absolutely.
Look, I will be as quiet as I need to be.
Heck yeah.
I've always wanted to just sit and see how some of this stuff happens. I mean,
Yeah.
I assume by seeing stuff you see on clips of videos and stuff, but it would just be kind of cool to see it firsthand.
Absolutely.
For
You guys
sure.
can come out. Just don't be surprised if somebody says, hey, move that drop cord.
Yeah.
You know, or
Hey,
That happens
carry
at my
this
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
People show up to our events and they're like, "Hey, Scotty, what's going on?" And I'm trying to set up. They're like, "Do you need some help?" And I went, "Oh God, yeah. You
Yeah.
have that right there."
Yeah. You can carry these lights.
That's right. If-
Oh,
I'm all about some free labor. If you are
Yeah.
willing to help, I can desperately need your help. Because again, I don't want to. We'll start talking again and drag the show out. But again, people don't realize what it takes to do what y'all do. Just like me
Mhm.
setting up. Of course,
Right.
y'all set up 10 times more than the amount I do. But people just show up to an event and see me talking on a microphone and play music. They have no idea at the hundreds of feet of cable that it
Right.
took to plug in the speakers. And then they don't realize, oh, that's right. You had to have drop cords that plugged in the power to the speakers.
Yep.
Oh, we didn't think about that. And then they don't realize when, like we do a thing on the square in Covington, it takes 4 dedicated circuits to do what we do. So if a big
Mhm.
generator doesn't show up, we then have to duct tape all this drop cord from all these different receptacles.
Right.
And people go, "Oh my God, I never thought about it." And I went, "But because it's the world you're in, you don't
Yeah.
have to think about it.
Yep.
And they
You
don't
see the illusion."
Yeah, you just see people talking on a microphone.
Yeah.
You think that's not hard.
That's right.
Yeah.
It only took 2 hours to set up and 2 hours to tear down.
Yeah, it's the same thing. People see, oh, you just call action and cut. It's easy to be a
That's right.
director. And yeah.
How
I
about
don't
the
think
3
so.
months it took before we got here?
Right.
They
Yeah,
don't see
that's
that.
what I
Right.
was gonna
They
say.
don't
How
see
about
it.
going and staking out where everything's gonna be and
Right.
where we're gonna set up at and
Yeah.
Well, this
you
this
know.
one event, I don't have a problem with it with these people anymore. Don't get me wrong, but at one time they kept bragging about, well, Harley donated $400, and I went, what? Like they kept saying it.
yeah.
Oh my God, they kept making, and they wanted me to announce it on my microphone and make a big deal out of it. And I said, can I tell you something? Today might be 8 hours of work that you physically see, but you don't see it took me loading to get here,
Right.
loading to set up, loading to load it back in the bus, loading and unloading at home.
Right.
This 8 hours to you is 14 to me. And what you don't see is I just gave you $1,800 worth of free business today, and you want me to brag about somebody that gave you $400,
Right.
and you're not even patting me on my back.
Yep. I
Congratulations.
definitely
And
feel
not
your
paying
pain
you.
there.
Yeah.
and not paying
Yeah,
you
and not paying me.
because you donated.
but it just
All
is
of our
what it is.
time.
Yep.
But that's the thing. People don't see it. They just
Mhm.
don't see it. But
Nope.
again, thank you guys for coming in, man.
Absolutely.
It's
Thanks for
freaking
having
awesome
us.
you guys
Yeah.
are here. And,
Yeah, thanks
and
for
we're going
having
to
us.
hopefully share a bunch of your stuff here too. I know we
yeah.
got some contact information. We'll make sure we share on Facebook as well.
And,
No.
All right, everybody. We're out of here. Thanks all you
All right.
Just for Funners for being part of today. This morning we went a little nuts with the heavy hitting topic, and then we have a crew that came in today, which so I guess the
Yes.
second half, I think the second half was a lot more energy than the first. I think the first was just
Yes.
radical. And then you guys showed up to that. So we're out of here, everybody. Make sure you go check them out. You can find it through Facebook. You can also go back into the YouTube feed today, hear all the information again, share it with whoever you need to at home. Make sure that you go check out all their films and stuff, and then their upcoming stuff. And again, who knows? You could be an extra for these cats one day too. So make
Yeah.
sure you stay in touch with everybody. And I appreciate y'all again for listening in. Just for fun. We'll see you tomorrow. Do we have anything for tomorrow yet?
Haven't heard yet.
Okay,
I
but
was
regardless, we know it's just chaos because it always
Yeah.
is.
I was just going to say their website is spiritworldfilms.com, and you can go on there and check everything out.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see y'all
Thanks
later.
for having us.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Oh, not y'all.
No,
we were.
no,
we
we
were
were-
Oh, you're waving at everybody like, get him out of here.
No,
Don't let
no,
the door hit
sorry.
you.
No.